By the way, winners all around. Lee Sterling, another winning week? Well, actually, he could push for the week because we all had a push.
Right.
You and Lee both had Notre Dame +3 as a push. My question, why did Ohio State kick the extra point?
There was 1 second left on the clock.
But the only way Notre Dame could have won or tied the game is to block the extra point and return it for 2. I literally, and I know bettors would have lost their mind, I would have taken a knee as it was happening. I'm like, why? Because
I said it out loud too. I said it out loud too. Are they going to take a knee?
I would have.
Now, if there's no time left, they used to kick it, but they don't kick it anymore, right?
No, they don't. Same with the NFL, by the way.
Well, I knew that.
Right.
So that 1 second cost me.
So Lee's at 2-1-1 with pending with the Eagles tonight. You went 3-1-1, and whew, man, 5-1-1.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Well, I had to laugh when your first game pushed.
They went for 2, okay, because they're down 13, and
right.
You know they could have kicked the extra point, but that doesn't help them. They wanted to get to 11. But also, it was like 10-10 in the third quarter, and I'm like, there you go, Army. There you go.
I don't know why neither of us bet Maryland. Why didn't I continue with Duke, and why didn't I bet Maryland? Those are the only questions I asked myself on Saturday.
What was the Maryland Sparty line?
8.
Oh, yeah. Even with Michigan State playing a decent second half. By the way, did you see the game NBC chose for next? The Big Ten primetime game of the week? Michigan State at Iowa.
That is offensive to football fans.
Now, it's not a good schedule, but Penn State's at Northwestern. And Northwestern has played much better than we thought. They're 2-2. Did anybody from NBC even read the game recap of Iowa Penn State? Iowa had 70 yards of total offense. They went 2.5 hours without a first down.
366 yards in punts.
Yes.
78 yards in offense.
Right.
Ambient, the Dolphins just scored again. Oh, and Oregon just scored again, too.
By the way, Adam.
He's not even in here.
Between the Jags and Tua.
Ambient, I have no remorse, by the way. That's what you get for beating the Heat in the finals.
I beat a guy in DraftKings that had both Miami running backs in his backfield.
Wow.
That's the most impressive thing from the weekend.
Good morning, Adam. Rise and shine, big fella.
Yeah, Adam, I feel you. That is a bad loss yesterday.
Ambient, if my Broncos don't do anything, you felt like you had to put that disclaimer in? What's your definition of anything? The ratings aren't out, but I was told unofficially highest rated college football game of the weekend was Colorado, Oregon.
And I even turned it off at halftime. It was so bad.
Here we go.
listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you. Hope you had a great weekend as we begin this final week of September. How the heck are you? We are Miller and Moulton. This is the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Thanks so much for being with us. I come at you from Tampa, Monday Night Football, and a doubleheader tonight. The early game, a battle of 2-0 teams, and boy, did they go falling by the wayside this past Sunday. Whoo! Bucks and Eagles. One of them will be the third 3-0 team heading into, well, basically October. We got a Thursday night game and all. Top of the morning to you, Mark. How the heck are you?
Good morning, David. I am doing well. Terrific weekend of football. Delivered for us. You know, when they set these weekends up, they don't always deliver, and this one did.
Well, when the noon headliner goes to overtime, you know, when the appetizer becomes a meal with a little bit of dessert, you're looking around going, am I going to have enough of an appetite to finish this sucker? Yeah. Good stuff on Saturday. And man, oh man, we thought this was a bad-looking slate of NFL games. It wasn't if you were looking for upsets.
No doubt. And I said it, David, you know, usually these weekends when you get a bunch of double-digit spreads, usually one of the teams is involved in a tight game and may even lose. We had two of them lose outright that had big numbers in front of them. Holy cow. And someone's going to have to stop the Miami Dolphins offense.
I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. They just scored again. They did. All right. We've been on the air a minute and a half. The Dolphins have scored again. Whoo. That was an NFL game, by the way. I felt the need to continuously tell myself that during the day yesterday, that this was not a top 5 team in the country playing Delaware, UNLV, something like that. I mean, this was not a week 1, week 2 college football game in which the big boy scheduled, I don't know, Kent State because their game against Oklahoma fell through.
I don't know, David. We watched Colorado and Oregon on Saturday. I thought we were just watching a repeat of it on Sunday.
Ah, look at you. Look at you. Yeah, the football coming out of Colorado this weekend was not particularly good now, was it? Oh, Nelly. We'll get to Coach Prime and how that went a little bit later on. We had 9 2-0 teams. Now, 7 of them played, 6 yesterday. 1 played last Thursday. They won. They got the 3-0. So we had 6 2-0 teams yesterday going at it. 6. How many won? Wasn't it just the Dolphins?
Yeah.
I mean, help me out. Dallas lost at Arizona.
Right.
Right? Washington lost at home to Buffalo. Now they were expected to, but still. So then let's go to the South. Saints blew a 17-point lead in Green Bay.
You got it.
Right? Atlanta lost in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ravens lost Indianapolis.
Well, yeah, the Ravens lost at home to the Colts. Now, I will say, when Friday late afternoon, oh, by the way, the Ravens are going to be without 7 starters. I'm sorry, what? 7? Out of 22? That seems like a lot. But when Justin Tucker is not the best kicker in the game, wow, crazy stuff is happening. But, Mark, here we are. We're not even through with September. We have 2 with 1 pending tonight, unbeaten teams. That's it. We have 2. We have Miami and San Francisco, and then the winner of the first game tonight. There will be just 3-0 teams in the NFL. 3-0. That's it. Wow. Man, this league's off to just a crazy start.
I don't know if you're aware of it, but the Dolphins scored 70 points yesterday. 7-0. In an NFL game.
They played an NFL team yesterday, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't play FAMU, correct?
No. They played the Denver Broncos.
That wasn't FIU filling in last minute because the Dolphins had sold all the tickets?
Sean Payton, Russell Wilson, everything. They had the whole team there, David.
That's what I thought.
70.
And could have scored more. They were in field goal range at the end of the game. They easily could have, set the record there. Man, that's nuts. Man, Mark, imagine if Miami's quarterback could play.
I know. If they only had a quarterback.
If only they had a quarterback. Not even a franchise quarterback. Just a starting quarterback in the league. That's all. That's all.
Remember in the preseason where people were saying that the Dolphins should trade for Jonathan Taylor? Don't think they need to do that anymore, do they?
Not if Mr. Mostert's going to stay healthy, they don't. That's a
Not
big if.
And not if their rookie running back has another 200-yard game with
But
4 touchdowns.
and he's already been hurt, though. I'm just saying, injuries, this league changes on a dime. But man, oh man. Whew.
Speed kills, and they've got lots of it. That was without Waddle playing yesterday. 70.
70 without Waddle. Did Alabama ever do that, by the way, when they had Tua and the 4 first-round draft pick receivers? I want to look that up. I don't think Alabama ever put 70 on the board. My goodness. Remarkable. And it all started noon on Saturday. Mark, I don't hate it when we're right. But we've been right about something for a long time, and people don't want to accept it. You need a little bit of luck. You just do. You just do. You need break, whatever you want to call it, fortune, some breaks. But come on, you can be the biggest Florida State fan in the world. And it was awesome. And I'm very happy for you. I am. I was rooting for you. I want you to win. Hell, I want you 11-0 going to Gainesville, baby. I want Florida State to feel like Florida State again. But, come on. When you're tied with under 2 minutes to go and the other team's lining up a 30-yard field goal, I mean, you think you're going to be behind. Is that a fair assumption, Mark?
I think that's a fair assumption.
In high school, if they're lining up a 30-yard field goal with 1:45 to go, are you assuming, there's a good chance here we're going to be losing? Wow.
And it was a really fun story about the kicker who left Clemson after 4 years and was getting his graduate degree online and got the phone call this week, and they brought him on, and damned if he doesn't make the field goal and kick the extra points. But Dabo, every other school in your position in the country, when they need a kicker, they go get one in the portal. You don't do the portal. And you brought in a young kicker who couldn't kick once the lights were on. So you had to go back to a guy that you had on your roster a year ago. At some point, you may want to look at the portal the way Nick looks at the portal. filling in holes that are needed, the way Kirby looks at the portal. You don't have to be doing what Florida State did in the portal. You don't need to rebuild your program. But you lose kids. Kids transfer out of your program, and you're going to have to replace those players at some point. Because you played a really nice football game on Saturday. You outplayed Florida State. You did.
Yes, you did. You did. You were the better team for the majority of the game. How about Sean McDonough's line? Oh, my goodness. Greg McElroy saying, oh, man, the Hollywood ending was scripted. And McDonough, without hesitation, said, yeah, well, Greg, the writers are on strike. Golly, that's good material right there. That is good material. So Florida State survives Death Valley. They take back the ACC. And then Notre Dame. Can anybody count to 11? 11. Not once, but twice. Whoo-wee. How many coaches do you need?
Apparently one more, David. One more.
Apparently. Man. Wow. It was some weekend of football. It really was. Little baseball thrown in. Okay. Marlins hanging in there. Rays all but done in the East. All right. Toronto took it to them a little bit. Enough so that Tampa Bay is really gearing up for the wild card now. But we'll get you posted on that as well.
And all of you in survivor pools, if you're still around, half the pool's gone. It's a big weekend for you if you made it through it.
Who was the team? Was it Dallas? Was it Baltimore? Who was the team that most people jumped on?
Dallas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Mark. We have a late-breaking bulletin. The Dolphins have just scored.
Miller and Moulton. Great show lined up for you today. Gary Danielson and Chris Landry to talk more football on a, Overreaction Monday right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
All right, we need a poll question.
Okay.
Are the Dolphins the best team in the NFL? Yes or no?
And I don't know if you can hear me, David, but you're completely frozen. It's going to be a long show today. I'm with you, Paul. I was thinking most impressive win of the weekend, but I think Miami would win that easily. Thanks, Jack's team. Appreciate it. Why don't you call the station today and yell at them? Because we were given absolutely no warning. They just took us off. Yeah, I think so, because that was a 21-point spread, Lindy. Hi, David.
I spent 4 hours yesterday. 4 hours signing up with the best internet that's available, taking my MiFi down to a Verizon shop and testing it out. 4 hours yesterday.
What happened with the live broadcast?
Yeah, what market are we talking about, Empire?
On Fort Myers. The live broadcast on
Wait, what Empire? What market are we talking about? Are we on all the streamings we're supposed to be on?
Yes. And we're also connected to Westwood One, so
Yeah, ambient. Wait, 70-20? No. No. I watched
No, I
Dan
mean-
Fouts and the Chargers beat them 44-7 one time, but no.
by the way, to answer your question, the most points a Jalen Waddle Alabama team scored in a game was 66 against Western Carolina.
Jesus.
Canada, I disagree. I think it's great for his career. Here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour, top of the morning to you. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. I'm in Tampa, getting ready for the early Monday Night Football game. Internet cooperating, maybe. Bucks and Eagles, pair of 2-0 teams. We had 9 of them when week 3 started. We're down to 4, and we'll have 3 when Monday night is over. Wow. Man. Mark, my Jacksonville Jaguars hosted the Houston Texans yesterday.
They did.
The Houston Texans are not good. They had not won a game. And this was going to be the time that Jacksonville got off the Chris Berman schneid, because for whatever reason, Houston owns Jacksonville in Jacksonville. It's one of those strange things you can't explain. Mark, Houston beat Jacksonville badly yesterday.
Badly.
What in the has happened to the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Apparently,
Wow,
Tank Dell happened to him yesterday. The receiver for Houston, who went off for like $150.
Well, and did you see the kickoff return for a touchdown from the 255-pound fullback? He's the heaviest player to ever return a kick for a touchdown in the history of the league. He broke a minimum of 5 tackles. I thought it was a high school game, and literally like the biggest kid on the field, and they couldn't get him down. It was a strange NFL Sunday. Hold on. The Dolphins just scored again, and a fullback returned a kick 85 yards for a touchdown. Wow. The Colts beat the Ravens. The Indianapolis Colts are in first place. Is Peyton Manning their quarterback? Andrew Luck? What is going on? Could you explain this league to me? Somebody told me the Dolphins scored 70 yesterday.
Well, and then we're not even getting to some of the little things. Brandon Staley tried as hard as he could to get fired. I'd
fire him anyway.
I would too. Thank you. It's so funny. I got a tweet from one of our listeners, David, that just simply said, is he trying to get fired? As I was texting you, is he trying to get fired? I mean, it was literally, the tweet that was sent to me was damn near the same thing I had texted you. I laughed out loud on my couch. And then the Vikings, with no timeouts, get a first down and decide to not spike the ball. That final minute and a half or whatever that was is some of the worst decision-making in football I've ever seen.
And Cousins saying afterwards that we had trouble hearing because the crowd was too loud at home. I mean, it is a loud stadium and all. They do pipe noise in, but that's when the other team has the ball.
And it's not like there are any Chargers fans on planet Earth.
For those that missed it, what were they on their 24-yard line?
Yes.
Their own 24-yard line? And they went for it on 4th and 1? Because, Mark, you know that's apparently what analytics told them to do. There is no more of an analytics head coach than Brandon Staley.
I'd fire him.
Totally.
I don't care. If Kellen Moore's never coached before, and I know Pat was all over us on Friday about that, I couldn't let this guy lead my team anymore.
Yeah, no, I'd call anybody. I'd call John Fox in Southwest Florida. I go, listen, I know life's going well for you right now and you're retired. Listen, I just want you to make in-game decisions. Just let the defense coordinator be Brandon Staley. That's okay. Let the number 2 guy there run the defense. Okay, let Kellen Moore run the offense. You just handle timeouts and when we're going to kick and when we're going to punt. Honestly, I can find somebody, right? Somebody? David Shaw is on the West Coast. He's hanging out. He retired from Stanford. Listen, I don't want you to do, honestly, don't want you to call a play. Just when to kick and when to go for it and when to call timeout. That's all I want. Handle the press conferences. You don't even have to know players' names.
I'd prefer you kick. Doesn't mean all the time. There'll be 4,000 which you will want to go for in the first 3 quarters, and I'm going to support that.
Pretend you're a college coach. Don't even call the players by name. Just call them by number.
Oh,
yeah,
wait a minute.
That 32
News
out
update.
there.
The Dolphins just scored again.
Oh, man.
I switched it off at 50-something. I mean, I've got the ticket. I was watching, listening, had the Dolphins game on TV 1. I'm excited to watch the Dolphins. They're good. I even turned it off, and then they kept scoring. Then they showed the highlights, and they scored again. They got to 70 in the NFL.
70. Man. Wow. And they could have had more. They were in scoring range at the end of the game, but they're like, come on, we're not going to score anymore. This is bad enough. You got the fans chanting 3 more points. 3 more points. Because what was it? Did Washington scored 72 against the Giants, I guess, in a regulation game? I mean, the all-time record, though, wasn't there a championship game? 73-0? A championship game back in like the 30s or 40s, I think was 73-0. But Washington beat the Giants in the 60s, 72-something.
So for the majority of us, this is the most points we've seen in an NFL game ever. For the vast majority of us, we've never seen that before.
Have to admit, have a little more respect for the Patriots. Man, they held them to 24. Hell, even Brandon Staley's Chargers held them to what, 36, 38, 36?
And don't worry, following the game, Robert Saleh's okay with Zach Wilson. That's their guy going forward.
He needs to be fired too. The GM needs to be fired. The head coach needs to be fired. Honestly, if you're okay with that, then you can't coach here anymore. I'm sorry.
Because that's embarrassing.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, he's not an NFL quarterback. Don't care that you took him 2nd overall. That's on you. All right? Do what the Niners did. Admit your mistake quickly. Move on. I know you don't have a Brock Purdy. It just whatever. Got to be somebody out there that's better than Zach Wilson.
Yes, and his name's Kirk Cousins.
And they're 0-3. You can
Got
make that
right.
deal now.
I thought that's what yesterday did when Staley tried to hand the Vikings the game and they were afraid to take it. I thought that opened up the possibility for Kirk Cousins to be traded. Because if not, the Jets have thrown away a season. And with the way the year started, a lot of the teams that we thought were really good are struggling. So there's still hope at 1-2, but not with Zach Wilson at quarterback.
No.
Miller and Moulton. Gary Danielson, Chris Landry on the show today. The starting 5, that's next. David will catch you up with what you missed in baseball on the Florida Sports Network.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
All right. Need a poll question. Most impressive win of the weekend? I don't know how it would be anything but the Dolphins.
No, how about if you just say, are the Dolphins Super Bowl contenders? Yes. Finally. No. This is just a flash. Yeah, or like Empire said, if we go with most surprising result, I don't know.
I like most surprising result.
Okay.
Dolphin tank 70 on Denver. Arizona beats Dallas. Houston beats Jacksonville. They're fourth. Taylor Swift goes to Chiefs game?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just those
Adam,
three, I think.
yeah. Adam, who doesn't have better numbers? He's 5-23 as a starter.
That was close.
What was?
Getting that poll question up in time.
Zach Wilson's on Sunday Night Football next week. Man, that's funny.
Here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
"22 minutes before the hour. Gary Danielson joins us at the top of the hour. Chris Landry to talk all things football in our 8 o'clock hour. We are Miller and Moulton. This is the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Hey, does the shape up continue through the weekend into week 2?
Hell yes. We are a poll
Okay.
question show, David. We don't get to 6:30 without having the poll question up. I was a little nervous. You had some internet problems this morning. We didn't really discuss it. I didn't send any text out last night. I thought it would be pretty simple to get it done this morning, but we had a few hiccups with our technology this morning. But we've got it up. We're ready to go. Very simply, what's the most surprising result of the weekend? Dolphins hang 70 on Denver. Arizona beats Dallas. Houston beats the Jags.
Can I throw in an honorable mention? The Jets still think Zach Wilson can play? Or is that just getting a little too, yeah. Oof. By the way, you want to talk about a joke and why there's flex scheduling, even though it's an inconvenience to fans? Because NBC this coming Sunday night is stuck with the Chiefs and the Jets. That's right, Zach Wilson in prime time. Man, I hope Taylor Swift comes to the game. That's all I could say. Need something to talk about. Anyway.
I mean, that's a pull. There are things that you can do in life that you can be impressed with. But Travis Kelce getting Taylor Swift to come to a Chiefs game is a pretty large pull.
Yeah. Yeah. And apparently, she likes him a little bit. She, waited for him after the game. They left together. So, she watched the game with his mom, for goodness sake.
Right.
And okay. Cool.
I know Eagles fans are not happy, though. Taylor Swift being from the greater Philadelphia area and singing about the Eagles in some of her songs. It is impressive to get an Eagles fan to go to Arrowhead.
Well, I mean, she's just decided she's going to start dating the brother of a prominent Eagle. I mean, remember, if they play in the Super Bowl again, she can sit with the Kelce family. Anyway, Eagles Bucks Monday Night Football tonight. It's the early game, 7:15 on ABC. Time now for
The Starting Five. 5 stories you need to know. It's the Starting Five on Miller and Moulton. Here's number 1.
Mark, I was going to list all the impressive stats, but who the hell didn't score a touchdown for the Dolphins yesterday? I mean, besides Waddle, because he didn't play. But Tua threw 4 TD passes and Mostert at 3 TD runs. And, well, the A train there, Devin A. Chain, he had 4 TDs, 2 rushing, 2 receiving. He's really fast. They're really fast. And they hung 70 on Denver. That's a 7 and a 0, not 7. 7T. Miami's 3-0. The Broncos are 0-3. It's the most points scored in an NFL game, by the way, since 1966. Only one of us on this show was alive the last time someone scored that many points in an NFL game. Wow. Meanwhile, Houston won for the 6th straight time in Jacksonville. And they blew out the Jags, 37-17. Andrew Beck with an 85-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. He's a 255-pound fullback. 5 Jaguars bounced off him. It's the greatest, most embarrassing thing you'll see. Unless you watch Zach Wilson play football. Because, well, the Jets totaled 171 yards of offense, which is only better than Iowa. But I digress. The Patriots beat the Jets for the 15th straight time, 15-10. Colts went into Baltimore. They used to be in Baltimore. That's a long story. Anyway, Matt Gay kicked 5 field goals. 4 of them were 50 yards and further. When Justin Tucker's not the best kicker of the game, wow. Colts in overtime, 22-19. Bills pulled away from Washington in the 4th quarter, scored 3 touchdowns, beat them 37-3. Both teams are 2-1. Deshaun Watson looked like he might be worth 75% of what they're paying him. Yesterday, 2 TD passes. Cleveland beat Tennessee 27-3. Lions with 7 sacks beat the Falcons 20-6. Justin Herbert threw for 405 and 3 touchdowns, and his coach tried to give it away anyway. But the Chargers held on to beat the Vikings 28-24. Saints had a 17-0 4th quarter lead. That's not going to hold up against Jordan Love, okay? Anyway, Packers scored 18 unanswered in the 4th. Saints missed a late field goal. 18-17 Green Bay knocks New Orleans from the unbeatens. Kenneth Walker, 2 TD runs. Seattle beat Carolina by 10. Arizona took advantage of Dallas mailing one in yesterday. 13 penalties. Dak threw a pick. Cardinals early and often, 28-16 over Dallas. Speaking of early and often, the Chiefs and the Bears. 41-10. 41-10, Kansas City over Chicago. Mahomes with 3 TDs. He threw one to Kelsey in the 4th quarter to make Taylor and the Swifties all happy. Justin Fields, by the way, threw for 97 yards. It was 41-0 in the 4th quarter. Pittsburgh last night got 2 TDs. Can you explain to me, by the way, you're Josh McDaniels, you're down 8. There's under 3 minutes to go. You have 1 timeout left. You have 4th and 4 at the 9-yard line. You're down 8. What are you going to do?
Well, you go for it.
Right. He kicked a field goal to cut it to 5, kicked off, played defense, and got the ball back with 15 seconds to go. And Pittsburgh won 23-18. Pickett with 2 TD passes. 2 games tonight. Eagles, Bucks. Philly a 5-point favorite. That's at 7:15 on ABC. Rams and Bengals. Cincy, as of now, Burrow's still playing, yet at the same time, they're talking about him going on the IL. That's at 8:15 on ESPN and ESPN2. All right, Mark says I got to get you up to date on baseball. Here it is.
Here we go. I've been waiting
Toronto
for this.
beat the Rays because you didn't pay attention all weekend. Toronto beat the Rays 9-5. Vlad Jr. with 2 homers. Toronto is a 2-game lead for the 5 seed. These 2 teams are going to play in the playoffs next week in St. Pete in a best of 3. Because Baltimore's magic number to clinch is down to 3. They beat Cleveland 5-1. They have a 2.5-game lead. They own the tiebreakers. It's all but over. Texas swept Seattle. And at the same time, Houston was getting swept by Kansas City. The Rangers are now in first in the West by 2.5 over Houston, who has a half-game lead on Seattle for the final playoff spot. To the National League. Marlins took 2 or 3 from Milwaukee. They beat the Brewers 6-1 yesterday. The problem is the Cubs swept Colorado over the weekend. So the Marlins are a game back of the Cubs with 6 to play. If they finish tied, the Marlins go to the playoffs. But right now, the Cubs are the 6th seed. The Diamondbacks are the 5 seed by a half a game. They beat the Yankees 7-1 yesterday. The Reds are all but out of it. They're 2.5 back now of the playoff spot. They blew a 9-0 lead on Saturday and lost 13-12. That pretty much was it for the Reds. They did beat Pittsburgh yesterday. Phillies swept the 4-gamer from the Mets. Their magic number to clinch a playoff spot is 1. The Giants are all but eliminated after losing 3 of 4 to the Dodgers. Braves won their 100th game yesterday in a doubleheader split with Washington. San Diego's won 9 of 10, too little too late. They beat the Cardinals. Red Sox are all but guaranteed to finish below 500 with the way they're falling. White Sox trying to avoid losing 100 games. They beat Boston yesterday. A's last home game of the year, not their last home game. They're still going to play at least one more year. Detroit beat them, and the Twins beat the Angels. Mark, Solheim Cup, the U.S. seemingly was in the lead all weekend. They jumped out to a 4-0 lead in alternate shot. It took Europe all the way to the Saturday night to tie them. Then the U.S. had the lead in singles the whole way. They were up like 13-11. And Lexi was 4 up in her match with 5 to play. They had 3 matches where all they needed was the half a point. Europe won those 3 matches with late birdies everywhere. So it ended up as a tie, and Europe retains the Solheim Cup. There's a lot of talk about they shouldn't have a tie. That what they should do is like, remember the President's Cup the one year in South Africa? U.S. picked Tiger, the international team picked Ernie, and they went to a playoff. And the only thing that made it a tie was it got dark. And it was one great shot making after another. Literally, the President's Cup was on the line, Tiger against Ernie. There's some talk that maybe the Ryder and the Solheim Cups should go to that. What do you say?
As a boxing guy, I like the idea that you have to take the championship from the champion. I think I have no problem with the tie going to the team who holds the cup. It might make for more drama, though, on television. These are made for TV events. So if they can figure out a way to make sure they get it in, I'm fine with it.
All right. NASCAR, William Byron, a winner. He leads the points. Ross Chastain finished second. He moved up to 6th in the points. Bubba Wallace led 111 laps and finished 3rd. Bubba's 9th in the points. Soccer, no Messi. And Miami tied Orlando 1-1. They're playing Houston later this week for that cup that they won all those games in 2 months ago. And they don't know if Messi's going to play in that. College football polls are out. It's still Georgia. It's still Michigan. In the coaches poll, Ohio State's 3rd. In the AP poll, they're 4th. Florida State's 5th in the AP, 4th in the coaches. Miami's 18th in both polls. Florida's 22 in the AP, 23 in the coaches. Florida, an underdog at Kentucky this coming Saturday. That's unbeaten Kentucky, by the way. And at 9 minutes before the hour. Did I do that quickly enough?
Yeah, that was
You feel
impressive.
up to date on baseball?
I feel like I could play a game.
There's 1 week left in the season, by the way. 1 week. You've almost made it. And that, gentlemen, was...
That was the Starting Five every weekday morning at this time on Miller and Moulton.
That could be a supplemental poll question today. How much time does the baseball season have left? A week? I have no idea. You know, I mean, with the football weekend that just happened, I know I'm not alone when I'm getting up at 5:30 in the morning going, oh, crap, what the hell happened in baseball last night? Let me look at some scores. And that's kind of how my weekend goes, because Saturday was, I mean, come on, Florida State, Clemson, right into Ohio State, Notre Dame. And then if you're a real degenerate and had money on Washington, you maybe stayed up and watched some of that game too. And to a great NFL weekend. 2 big upsets yesterday.
We went from 9 2-0 teams. We're going to have no more than 3 3-0 teams. Man, is this going to be the earliest that the 72 Dolphins ever popped the champagne? By the way,
unless they're waiting for the Dolphins to lose.
Oh, look at you. Dolphins an underdog, by the way, in Buffalo on Sunday.
No respect, I say. No respect.
Score 70. Can't even be a 1-point favorite. So, listen, we just had Florida State take the ACC back. Are we 6 days away from the Dolphins taking the AFC East back?
Still 2023, David. It's still the year of Florida.
That's right.
I don't know what happens come January 1. I have no idea. But between now and then, it's all Florida all the time.
Which, once again, proves that Jacksonville really is South Georgia.
Boy, oh boy.
Because, man, they have not gotten the memo.
No, they obviously have not. And that is just a terrible loss yesterday. We'll switch gears and talk college football with Gary Danielson next on the Florida Sports Network.
Yeah. Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here.
Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other. With a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
I know. Denver at Chicago next week. If you're a Bears fan, do you wear a bag? Do you wear a paper bag to make a point?
It's looking like a paper bag season so far. What did the Bears get in return for the first overall pick again?
Didn't they get an extra first-round pick in this year's draft?
Yep. And the receiver.
So they have Carolina's pick, right?
Yep.
And Carolina is 0-3. I mean,
yep.
You know, Arizona's got Houston's pick. So, I mean, Chicago and Arizona, you know, look at
right now Chicago has the first and fourth pick.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was a bad day for Arizona. They won, and so did Houston.
Bears on hold. They're back in 10 seconds.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton on this Monday, and we're thrilled and happy that it starts with Gary Danielson of CBS Sports. He has started his college football season by seeing Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, and Penn State. We will get to that in a moment. Gary, first off, thanks for joining us. Secondly, it's my turn to ask you a question that you've never been asked before and have you react accordingly. Have you ever been on a team that has scored 70 or had 70 scored against you?
Basketball.
Holy Redeemer, I think's the answer. Holy Redeemer.
No, they were good. You know who Holy Redeemer's basketball coach was when I was in high school? They were good, by the way. Bill McCartney.
Who?
The coach of Colorado, Bill McCartney.
Right. So the Colorado football coach was the high school basketball coach?
Yes, he was. That's how he got his start. He was a basketball coach first. Okay, just a little Michigan trivia there.
Listen, in all seriousness, did you watch the Dolphins yesterday?
I watched every play of it.
Okay.
I enjoy watching excellence. I texted a couple friends that I think Mark, you watched it, right?
Yes.
Their accelerated motions with speed, the way they use their motions pre-snap and the timing of their snaps completely outflanks defenses. The quicknesses, if you tie that with the quickness and accuracy, the way that Tua throws the ball, very similar to the way he threw it at Alabama. I think you're going to see a lot of NFL teams copying that quick motion, speed motion, throwing the ball. You got to give them credit. I mean, Daniel has really found an edge that defenses right now have no idea to handle. They are beautiful to watch. And I texted a friend during the game that I feel what Miami's doing right now is similar to what the Golden State Warriors did to the NBA. They are changing the game.
Gary, and obviously not everybody has two burners in the backfield, but when they're bringing two guys in the backfield, and a lot of teams are doing that now, it's really causing havoc on defensive coordinators. Why?
Well, you got to tie it all together. You're right, but Tyreek Hill is unique, but I'm not degrading him at all, but there's a lot of other fast guys out there, but coaches haven't yet corralled the idea of how to use that speed in a passing game besides just going deep. You don't always, just because a guy's fast, you don't have to throw the ball 40 and 50 yards downfield. And I think the combination of the way that Mike's doing it with this Dolphins team, I mean, you got to have a quarterback that is a quick thinker. Boomer Esiason compared to Joe Montana, the way he can anticipate throws and move his feet and get in position to throw at the same time. And, I just got a feeling that, first of all, if he stays healthy, they're going to be really tough to stop. He's just too good of a thrower, and he sees openings. He's at a level of Drew Brees, seeing where to throw the ball, and that's a tough level to get to. They were really fun to watch.
Gary Danielson of CBS Sports, as we mentioned, he has started his college football season by seeing Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, and 2 nights ago, it was Penn State thumping Iowa, holding them to less than 100 yards of offense, and also having a solid, dominating offensive performance themselves. So, what'd you see from Penn State? They're one of those programs where they got to, take that next step. They're where Georgia was 5, 6, 8 years ago. What do you think about what Franklin's put together?
It's pretty impressive, but it's very similar to what Penn State has put together in the past. They are always talented. They're talented again. It looks at their schedule. I guess you could have a squeaker when you don't play well, although, they have yet to turn the ball over this year. They're really soundly coached with a quarterback that follows the game plan. We can get to him a little bit later. But I think tying it in, they've got tremendous depth. They can afford an injury at a lot of different places. It comes down to them to a 2-game season. I mean, and when they match up at Ohio State, I think it's that way. At Ohio State, home Michigan, that's basically their season, and it'll be disappointing for them if they don't figure out with this team how to get over that hump, because now they have a quarterback that has the edge, I think, J.J. McCarthy's really good. Kyle McCord is getting better. Ohio State's coming on as he gets better. That is a huge win for him to play at Notre Dame and, understand the pressures of the game and react like that. He should get better. So those 3 teams, that's really going to be interesting. And would anybody be surprised if all 3 just beat each other like 216 or 17 that happened before?
Gary, they've got Northwestern and Ohio, and the schedule's not that difficult as you mentioned. So how do you best prepare 3 weeks from this big game with Ohio State while playing JV talent?
Yeah, I think it's just more of what they've been doing. Marcus, continue to work on in this game, the word for Penn State was to be patient against that Hawkeye defense. I'm going to do want to talk about Iowa a little bit too, but let's stick with Penn State for now. You just continue to grind, as a quarterback, and, the word of the weekend might be humble. We've all been humbled who have played sports. But, as a quarterback, as an offense, as a coach, you just keep grinding the little things, making sure you're doing better and better. You grab the tape and you don't celebrate. You just keep talking about, hey, on this route, you rounded it off. You got to square it off. It was working against this zone, but against man, it won't. So I just think it's not going to be that hard. In college ball, you have to win every game, maybe lose one to get there. So I think they're conditioned to that. They've been through it many, many times. I know they're really, really hungry to get into that playoffs. And that's a franchise that really wants to take that next step. And I really think they got a offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. James Franklin has put together a good unit here, and they're going to continue to recruit at a really high level. They look like a power that will not let up.
That Big Ten East, Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State, man, that is something. You said you wanted to talk about Iowa, less than 100 yards of offense.
As I thought through the game, there was a lot of things I wish I would have said. The Iowa franchise is a really proud franchise. Their fans love Iowa Hawkeye football. They've been successful for 50 years. Everybody has a few dips here and there, but that was a tough one for them to take on national television. I just wish I would have more delved into the fact that this is sports. This is what happens to you. Sean Payton got his humble pie this weekend. He thought he had all the answers. He doesn't have all the answers. Okay. Dion got his humble pie. Okay. It's not, it's not as easy as everybody was thinking that that you can just change everything. It takes everything to win. Notre Dame got humble pie at the end of that game. And all of us that have played sooner or later get humbled badly. And I just would have, for the Iowa fans, they got a season to go. These players, it was 10-0 at half. It wasn't what they wanted, but they've got a schedule now. If they can just concentrate, they can come back and have a good season. I wish I would have underlined more that it's hard. It's hard out there, and it can turn fast.
And it has turned fast for a bunch of teams. As you look at, and I know you didn't see the game, or you probably saw some of it, but Alabama didn't fix everything, but they kind of proved to everybody that they still can be the biggest, toughest kid on the block when they have to play that way.
I think it is impressive, Mark, what they did to Ole Miss. That's a really dynamic offense that's coming at you with all angles. I think, they and I guess LSU, I know it's different talent, but Lane was primed for that game. He's got a quarterback that can put points on the board. They can run them. A lot of weapons in every direction. But yes, Alabama team defensively is very talented. They have a different type of quarterback than they've had for a while, and a new coordinator. I think I said on, I don't know if it was your show, but maybe other shows, that, this is a team that needed 3, 4, or 5 games to find their footing this year as they try to, change from a number 1 draft pick quarterback. Having to play Texas early was not the formula that I would have wanted this year. It's the way college football goes. But, as they start playing, they get coached really hard there. We can see that why people say they're the most talented team in the country. So, they're not gone. That's for sure. They're still a team that anybody that plays is going to have to play well to beat them. I mean, the SEC could come down to the same 2 teams again. I mean, make it 3 teams. It looks like LSU, Alabama, Georgia are a step ahead of everybody.
Gary Danielson, along with Brad Nessler and Jenny Dell, they have Auburn hosting Georgia this coming Saturday on CBS. Hey, it's been a while. It's been since Tim Tebow was the quarterback and Bobby Bowden was the Florida State head coach, since CBS has done Florida State. But it looks like the Noles, they opened with LSU and at Clemson, and they're 4-0. That's the definition of being back, isn't it?
Yeah, I think this is a really interesting week for Florida. They're at Kentucky. There's 2 or 3 games here that Florida can really, they've already done it once, Now they get a big road game at Kentucky. Kentucky's got a legitimate quarterback. And I think, the way Florida State won that game, they're on my radar. I got to say, who knows what's going to happen. That'll be the weekend, David, correct me, right? We will be doing the Iron Bowl, but CBS does have the option, if they choose, because it's a home game, we could do Florida State, Florida at 3:30. That would be fun. A number 1 or 2 Florida State against an improving Florida team. I'd sign up for that. So it seems like it's a can't-lose day for CBS on that day.
He's Gary Danielson of CBS, and as we mentioned, number 1 Georgia, taking the 2-hour bus ride to the plains of Auburn to face the Tigers on Saturday at 3:30. Gary Danielson joining us once again here on Miller and Moulton. Thanks so much, Gary. You are listening to the Florida Sports Network.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
I got the shorty before Felipe.
All right.
And you're a part of it.
All right. Oh, wow.
What's that?
Just the head of that red snapper. Oh, my gosh. Is that a big fish?
And as he was pulling it up, the shark got it?
Yeah, all that's there is a head. And it's a makes your head seem small.
He went there, ladies and gentlemen.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Thanks so much for being with us, Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. I'm in Tampa, Monday Night Football tonight. It's the early game. It's another doubleheader weekend. I have to admit, I don't know anybody besides the NFL and ABC that like this Monday night doubleheader idea. Usually we like more of something, but I don't know. We seem offended that I can't watch every play of both. Well, you weren't going to watch the Rams and the Bengals anyway, were you? I mean, come on.
For that matter, if you're not a Bucks or an Eagles fan, you weren't going to watch the Bucks and Eagles.
Right. So, I mean, combined, the two games last week did 22 million viewers. I mean, the Carolina-New Orleans game did 6.5 million viewers. You know how many people would have watched the Carolina-New Orleans game if it was, 1 o'clock on Fox? Maybe 1 million people. That's why they're doing it, ladies and gentlemen. This just in. Plus, they got more money from ABC. But anyway, the 2-0 Bucks. Hey, Mark, after this weekend, do you just take the Bucks and the 5? Honestly, this is upset weekend, baby, in the NFL. Do you just take Tampa Bay? Doesn't have to make sense. I'm taking Tampa over Philly. Why? Have you been paying attention?
It's not the dumbest thing I've heard, David, the way this weekend has gone.
I mean, Arizona against Dallas, Houston and Jacksonville, Indy and Baltimore. Why are you taking the Bucks? Hello? That's why. So, anyway, we got that tonight, 7:15. It's on ABC. And then the other game, Rams at Bengals. We have no idea if Burrow's playing or going on the injured list. I honestly, no idea. 8:15 ESPN, ESPN2. Hey, give it up for one Mark Miller. No, I mean this. No, that's a solid early morning. Not a lot of people on the course, but a really nice 4-iron to a par 3 and 20-footer for birdie clap. No. Give it up, Mark Miller. Not 1, not 2, 3 winning weeks in a row, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? In September. No. Nice 4-iron.
Thank you.
Pin high. Okay, rolled in
Thank
a little 20-footer right to left.
I'll tip the visor at you for that one.
Yeah. No. Very solid. 3-1-1. The push was Notre Dame +3.
Should have been 4-1. Needed that second to run off. Did not need that extra point. Could have just ended that game.
Also, I mean, up 2, what's the only way Notre Dame can get back in the game? Block the extra point, return it for 2. Honestly, if I was Ryan Day, I would have taken all the heat in the world. I would have said, yeah, I understand the spread was 3. I'm a coach. Okay, the only way we can lose this game is to attempt the extra point. I took a knee. I'm sorry. I took a knee.
Said it out loud to no one watching the game. Just said, so you're going to take a knee here because you can block this and have it returned.
Exactly.
It can happen.
Now, of course, if Notre Dame's only going to put 9 or 10 guys on the field, it's much tougher to block. But anyway, so Mark 3-1-1. His only loss was Dallas. I feel as if I kind of talked him into that, just doing the whole Cowboys stats, best team against the spread the last 2+ years, blah, blah, blah. So I'll even take the blame for Mark's loss. Lee is 2-1-1 on the week. He also had Notre Dame +3. That's his push. And he's got the Eagles laying 5 tonight amongst his free picks on our show. So Lee trying to have a winning week. Listen, I have no idea what happened. First off, not only did I have a really good week, I had it in the month of September. I don't know if this means I'm going to drop dead later this week or if I'm about to go on just a run to end all runs here. Because I went 5-1-1 this week and went 3-0 in the NFL.
And you pushed your first game.
I know.
Right out of the chute. You pushed your first game in a game that you could have had. It was right there for the taking.
But Army went for 2, down 13 to get it to 11 when if they kick the extra point, it's a cover. But okay, yep. Started with a push. Kansas, by the way, didn't help me. Late field goal, just to tack one on against BYU. But, they took it from 8 to 11, so I understand. And so BYU didn't cover. But, yeah, K-State covered against UCF. I will say, if you had told me UCF was going to score 30-something with their backup quarterback, I actually thought they might have won. But they lost.
Didn't stop.
No.
K-State at all. K-State ran all over them in that game.
Yeah. That was not good.
Watched big chunks of that game, David. They had no answer for K-State.
Florida State got out of Death Valley with a win, so obviously they covered. I had the Texans to the point against the Jags because they had beaten them 4 times in a row in Jacksonville. Never thought they were going to win. Just thought maybe they'd cover. I took the Patriots because, they'd beaten the Jets 14 in a row. And let's face it, they have Zach Wilson as their quarterback. I mean, Mark, do we just have to bet against the Jets every week? If they're going to keep playing Zach Wilson, don't you have to bet against the Jets every week?
Right now, I think betting against the Jets and betting against my Spartans are safe bets for the rest of the year, David. I really do.
Now, the toughest bet right now, I'm just throwing it out there for everybody. What do you do? Denver at Chicago in the NFL next week. Think about it. You don't have to make a decision right now, obviously. How in the world, what angle are you coming from to bet that game? Because if we're holding Zach Wilson to a certain betting standard, can we start holding Justin Fields to it? Holy, 5-23 as a starter. Threw for 97 yards against the Chiefs Sunday. Most of it in the fourth quarter. Oh, boy. And even though Brandon Staley tried to give my win away, I took the Chargers against the Vikings. I would have been on a plane. I would have met them on the tarmac in Minneapolis, St. Paul, if they had lost that game and I had lost that bet. Honestly, I'd be like, you're fired. I know I don't have the authority, but I'm going to tap you to the ground.
Be fired. I truly believe if the Chargers made the decision to fire him today, I would be supportive of that decision after the win. I don't know how you do that. Happened to watch a little post game. Jimmy Johnson was beside himself after the game. Beside himself.
He should be. I'm sure he's thinking of coming out of retirement with that roster, winning another Super Bowl. But all right, Felipe, let me guess. We're going to hear about the Dolphins?
Actually, no. We're going to hear about some drama in college football because, hey, every year Notre Dame thinks that they have it, but they just don't.
14-10 Notre Dame leading. McCord in the shotgun. Trainum off his right hip. Too wide to the right. Snap McCord. Hands to Trainum. Straight in. End zone. Touchdown. Chip Trainum. For the second straight week. Bogey. The converted linebacker finds the end zone, and that'll win it for Ohio State.
Ohio State going into Notre Dame and winning a tough, gritty matchup. 16-14.
No.
Oh, I got the score wrong.
No.
It's kind of a big deal when the spread's 3.
Yeah.
The final score was 17-14. See, I would have won that bet had it been 16-14. Then I would have been 4-1, not 3-1-1.
No. There are millions of people, Felipe, very interested in that point after. Very interested. I do have a question since I was working, kind of, the Iowa-Penn State game at the time. How did Ohio State convert a 3rd and 19? I mean, if you're Notre Dame, how in the world do you allow a 21-yard pass on 3rd and 19 from the 22, by the way?
And then 7. I mean.
And then, obviously, on the last 2 plays of the game, you only have 10 men on the field. And Ohio State substituted on one of those 2 plays. I mean, Notre Dame had a chance on one of the 2 plays because of Ohio State making a substitution to rectify the error. And apparently no one associated with Notre Dame football can count to 11. And by the way, no one on NBC could either because they didn't point it out.
They did not point it out, David.
That's a big miss, by the way. I'm just telling you.
That's your job.
I'd get fired. And that's not a joke, by the way.
Right? I mean, that's your job. And I'm not being smart here. There are other people that are spotters, but that's kind of would have been on you.
No, not kind of. No. I would not be working this week. Miller and Moulton.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Wes, I won't get there till Saturday morning. But I'd love to have joined you. Do we talk and criticize other I mean, not on the air, obviously, but that's just one of those, and I may talk about this on the air. Would I have been fired? Maybe. Probably not. Only because I've built up a lot of goodwill. 18 years with CBS and 6 with Troy. But that's a huge, to not have that as a broadcast, that's monster miss. I mean, that's what are we doing?
Because obviously you're watching out for that on virtually
Felipe,
every single play.
No. Felipe, literally one of my jobs, Mark and I talked about this. Like, it's difficult for me now to watch a game at home on the couch because I kid you not, I am counting the players on defense before every snap because I literally do that every play. I'm looking at who's coming on the field on offense, the 2-3 tight ends, that sort of deal. And then I'm counting personnel on defense every play. If I had missed that, I'd be distraught.
And
I would expect to be fired.
Not just once, but twice.
It's unbelievable. Plus, we all, you watch enough football, it's like when they have 12 on the field.
The fact that the 2 plays and they didn't point it out. They completely missed it.
I mean, it just, your eye looks different. Mark, it's like in golf. You know how 150-yard markers, you'd stand at some and you'd be like, this ain't 150. You just know after a while when you play golf. You're like, no, it's longer than this.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
"22 minutes before the top of the hour. Chris Landry of Landry Football will join us at the top of the hour. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Hey, we didn't talk about this before the show or during the commercial breaks on the Miller and Moulton Twitch broadcast. Check it out, by the way, if you haven't before. But, all right, I don't want to come off like a hypocrite here because you and I both are into transparency. We're into access. I do think, though, that first off, like Dan Lanning's pregame speech to his team. Now, he let the cameras in, so then therefore it can get out. But what is Dan Lanning supposed to say to his team right before they're playing Colorado? Shucks, guys. I mean, yeah, he's firing them up. So he's going to say something probably that Colorado's not going to like. The most offensive thing, Mark, you can come up with is they're playing for clicks. We're playing for wins. Man, what a trash sucker.
That rat bastard.
You guys weren't a fan of that?
No,
yes, we were.
But it's tame. We're really going to get offended by that? I mean, Colorado's going to take receipts from that? I mean, come on. Just take your 42-6 whooping and go home. And if you want, wait a couple years when your roster looks like theirs and schedule them in a home and home if you want to get back at them. But, Mark, I kind of feel like, remember the Tuesday or Thursday college football luncheons?
Yes. 100%, where the coaches would go show up at the Florida Gator Club in Orlando.
Right.
Do a lunch, and those things were all behind the door, behind the glass curtain. You didn't see inside. You didn't hear inside. You didn't hear about it. No one was recording back in the day. And that's, it's where Spurrier would say you can't spell citrus without UT.
And Florida State stands for Free Shoes U. You threw meat to the Lions. That was the idea of it. You know, I mean, Johnny Carson did different material in Vegas than he did on the Tonight Show. I mean, come on. I just feel as if we're a little too sensitive here. You know, I get, you know, Ryan Day. Listen, I totally support Ryan Day. Lou Holtz is not the first person to say Ohio State's not tough enough. In fact, most of Columbus was saying Ohio State's not tough enough. So I get Ryan Day being pretty honked off. He's like, I've lost how many games in 6 years? You blankety blank. I get it.
And he can't yell at his fans after the game and say, hey, Columbus,
Right.
you blankety blanks.
Right.
We are tough. So he took down the one guy that Columbus was as angry about, because that's the old, you know, you can't say that about our team. Only we can say that about our team.
Right. It's okay. I sent my kids to the Ohio State. I've spent $4 million on tickets and tuition. I can say they're not tough. You can't. Right. Exactly.
So then Ryan Day takes down the common enemy after he beats Notre Dame.
Right.
And goes on the attack of Lou Holtz.
Right.
That's meat to the Lions.
We'll say, though, Bud Elliott summed it up pretty good. He goes, Notre Dame only loses to playoff teams, which once again proves that Notre Dame's not a playoff team. Ouch. It's harsh, but it's true. Now, a year from now, you know, they can, you know, they've got Clemson, they've got USC, they've got Ohio State on the schedule. They could, you know, lose 2 of those 3 and maybe still make the playoff. But that's not the world we're living in 2023. That's the 2024 and beyond world. Okay, best wins of the year right now. Best win, college football season. We're just going best win of the year. Florida State's got 2 really good ones. Ohio State went in Notre Dame. Texas went in Alabama. Best win of the year so far in college football. And Colorado went to TCU week 1. Hey, that was a great win. That
was a great win, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't right. Make the list as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. But best win of the year. Was that the best win Saturday night in South Bend? Is that now the best win of the year? I think that's a legit top 10 team. Bottom of the top 10, but I think that's a legit top 10 team. They went on the road. They won. It's an outstanding win. Right now, neutral field. No, they played in a bowl game. Notre Dame, Alabama. Who would you take? It's a good game.
Ooh, that's a really good game.
In judging who got the better win, Ohio State or Texas. If they played in a bowl game, a couple of 10 and 2.
Alabama would be favored slightly.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they'd be a 3.5-point favorite. But, you know, my $20, who would you take to win? It'd be a good game.
I might take Notre Dame because of the quarterback.
Okay. So, you know, just making the case for Ohio State here. Was that now the best win of the year? If Florida State, LSU, neutral field, Florida State did go into Death Valley. Okay, they did. Come on now. But that might be the best win of the year, and we'll see for how long that stays the best win of the year.
Florida State's win was nice. Clemson had already lost to Duke.
Don't you think, though, that win now for Ohio State, we talked about what it would mean if Notre Dame won. But now, is that the tiebreaker for Ohio State? If Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State all find a way to beat each other, and they're all going to post 11-1 seasons, was that not the tiebreaker? I mean, come on now. Come on. Isn't a schedule supposed to mean something? At the end of the day, shouldn't the schedule mean something? Michigan's schedule this year, soft. Penn State's schedule this year, okay, soft. Not as soft as Michigan's, but soft. Okay. Ohio State went to South Bend to beat Notre Dame. If they put an 11-1 up on the board, I mean, come on.
Well, David, we talked on the show on Friday, the implications for the Big Ten if Notre Dame won the game, that we thought that it made the Big Ten a one-bid league if Notre Dame were to beat Ohio State. So, yes, it's a tiebreaker. And yes, it leaves the door open for 2 Big Ten teams to qualify for the playoff. So I think that is the tiebreaker. There's no doubt.
It's got to count. These games have to count, right? So, circle that sucker, baby. And by the way, does Florida State now have a mulligan? It's the ACC, and, I don't know. They haven't been back for long, like an hour and a half, but can they lose to Florida and win the ACC championship?
That's the one they might be able to get away with losing, David. I don't think there's another game, maybe at Pitt, but I doubt it.
I don't know. Pitt just lost to North Carolina.
I know.
1-3. Yeah.
So maybe a good Florida team, Florida wins to have a 9-3 season.
Here's the funny thing. We were trying to tell Gator fan you were rooting for Florida State against Clemson. No. You want the game in the swamp to feel like it felt in the 90s and early 2000s. No. You want an undefeated 11-0 Florida State coming to town. That's what you want. Trust us, you got to root for the Noles last weekend against Clemson. Now, Florida State fan, no. Listen, you're rooting for Florida. No, they got to win at Kentucky, win at South Carolina. It's okay if they lose to Georgia. Utah's in the top 15, even if they lose at LSU. You want 8-3 Florida, with all 3 of their losses being the top 15 teams. That's what you want when you play them. You don't want 6-5 Florida. Because you lose to 6-5 Florida, you ain't getting in the playoff.
See, David, the problem is the Big 12 with Texas. The Pac-12 is really good. I don't know because the SEC champ's getting in, the Big 10 champ's getting in. The Big 10 may get 2 now.
Could.
I don't know how much room there is for air for an ACC team.
I don't know what the Big 10 tiebreaker is, but I'm telling you, if Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State are all 11-1, it's probably ranking. I just don't know how you don't put Ohio State first amongst the 3. I don't. The Notre Dame win's got to mean something. I know Michigan was really solid against UNLV. I'm sorry, it's just not the same. It's a joke. Take it easy. It's a joke.
They were good against East Carolina, too. Don't kid yourself.
Yes, they were. Really solid. Only gave up 1 play to Rutgers. That's all. Just trying to say these games need to count. That's all. These games need to count. So I do think, though, we're taking the whole disrespect thing a little far. I think we got to toughen up in college football, especially. It's one thing if Western civilization as we know it, we're getting soft as blankety blank. That's a whole different story. This is college football, damn it. We got to toughen up. We got to be able to handle the opposing coach saying they're just playing for clicks. We're playing for wins. You actually have to be able to go, it's a good line. It's a good line, coach. Come on. We got to get tougher as fans and opposing coaches too. Now, they call you soft. That's a totally different deal. You ain't tough enough. No. That you get upset about.
That is the bulletin board material.
Right.
There's bulletin board material, and then there's telling a team that they're soft.
Right. By the way, Catherine, when I'm done doing this post-game interview, I'm going to fly to Orlando and beat up Lou Holtz in his backyard. That's how angry I am. That I understand. But come on, this whole we're saving receipts. By the way, Robert Saleh has been saving receipts for 2 years. We could, if it would take a few hours, we could play back all the times that Robert Saleh, as head coach of the Jets, says he's taking receipts. Okay.
He better trade in his receipts along with that quarterback. Maybe those receipts are worth something. I know at a lot of restaurants, you can just use their app, David, and scan the receipt to get your points for your rewards. Maybe there's a burrito coming his way. I don't know.
I mean, I'd get thrown out of the media room because I'd be like, Coach, please tell me you're saving these receipts for your taxes. I mean, you're getting something out of these receipts, please. Zach Wilson got sacked against the Patriots without being touched, in which he twisted himself around and went down into the fetal position with no one around him. But he's still our quarterback. Okay.
In Zach, we trust.
Right.
Those
but
guys
anyway,
are so
Mark,
close to giving up.
That's my thing, though. I do think as college football fans and our coaches, most of them, we got to toughen up a little bit. We're getting a little soft. We're getting a little crazy. There's a lot of talking head shows. There's a lot of interviews. A lot of stuff is being said. If you're going to take it all as attacks and offense, honestly, you just come on. We got to get tougher. We got to get back to how it used to be.
Oh, by the way, Miami, the Dolphins just scored again.
Right. Now, see, if you're a Broncos fan, you got to take that today.
All day long.
Yes. In fact,
Sean Payton has to take it because, he made all the comments about how badly the Jets were coached. You gave up 70, bro. Wow.
And by the way, once you score over 50, people like Mark Miller are allowed to go bro.
Yeah.
That's another rule.
70.
Bro.
Say what you want about you're done talking about other coaches for a long time after you get 70 hung on you in the National Football League.
Yeah. Tell you what, biggest game of his life is this Sunday. If he goes to Chicago, loses to Justin Fields and the Bears. Hell, last year's Denver's coach, who's the offense coordinator with the Jets, he may start talking trash. Oh, boy. Good thing the Nuggets won the world championship and the Avalanche won the cup the year before. Things are getting a little lean in Denver. Wow. But that's all, Mark. That's my plea.
Getting late early in Colorado. Yeah, no doubt. Toughen up.
Yeah.
College coaches need to toughen up a little bit.
Yeah. And fans. Come on now. Let's go back to how it used to be. Had to be a real insult. I mean, at least something about your mama or your sister. I mean, come on. Let's toughen up. Like Chris Landry, he's in the heart of the South. You got to get personal.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other. With a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Morning, Chris.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Good, good.
Did you watch any of the Dolphins Broncos? Like if you
Yeah, yeah, I did. I did. It was kind of focused my attention elsewhere because that game was over pretty quick. But I ended up watching some clips that I had late last night after the Sunday night game. Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive.
We had Gary Danielson on an hour ago, and he said he thinks that what the Dolphins are doing with their speed motion is kind of changing the game a little bit.
Well, I mean, they've got so many playmakers. Shane is just another weapon that they've got in. They've got, when you can get the ball out on time, the quarterback position, and you throw it accurately, and you get guys in space, it's just really, really difficult to cover those guys. You got to pick your poison. They got too many weapons. It reminds me a little bit of, when the Chiefs had Tyreek Hill and they had, a lot of weapons in which you had to pick your poison. It's kind of what they have right now. What they've got going. They would have embarrassed a lot of people and, probably not scored 70 on anybody, but that was something.
I have to admit, and I haven't had this feeling since, it kind of reminded me a little bit of 99 Rams yesterday. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, out of the backfield, slot, XZ. I mean, you got to pick your poison there. It's just hard, and when the ball comes out so quickly, and guys are wide open. I mean, it was just kind of it was a they could just kind of like at the buffet table. I mean, they can just say, we can do a little of this, a little of that. It wasn't like, one or two guys were beating guys consistently. It was just everybody was getting open quickly off the line of scrimmage. And I understand not wanting to get beat deep, but man, if you'd let them free off the line of scrimmage, that ball's coming out so quickly, as I mentioned, it's just going to be difficult to defend them. Certainly Denver had no answer.
Here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
And at this day and time, we are joined by Chris Landry. He calls where he does his work the Football Lab, the Landry Football Lab. You can follow Chris on Twitter/X at Landry Football. Go to LandryFootball.com and get all his comprehensive NFL breakdowns. Longtime scout, coach, and administrator, a paid consultant for many a college football and NFL team. Good morning. How was your weekend?
It was good. Hope you guys were had a good weekend as well.
Listen, we had one team score 70 points, and we had a college football team have 78 yards. Okay, I mean, and everything in between. So, where do you want us to start?
I don't know. We probably start. The Dolphins. That offense was hitting in about on the proverbial all cylinders, but probably unstoppable is a good way to describe it. Nearly perfect in terms of getting open off the line of scrimmage, ball coming out quickly, ball coming out accurately. No answers did the Broncos have against this Dolphins offense. That was very impressive. To score 70 points in the NFL, you guys know how rare that is. 66, I believe, last time. It just doesn't happen, and it didn't look like they were trying to do anything extraordinary. It was just running their offense.
What about Tua has become better since he's become a Miami Dolphin? He was an accurate passer at Alabama. There was a lot of, really good there coming into the NFL. But what have you seen where he's gotten better, Chris?
Well, the ball's coming out quicker, and he's got more weapons. So, I mean, when you can really do, and I think they've done a really good job getting him to understand, obviously have a better feel for what to look for. Now, one of the things about him coming out of college, coming out of Alabama, he was not a multi-read guy. I mean, it was a pre-design, we'll get guys open and you will look for it, and it's a quick 1-2. They've done a good job with him of creating that opportunity of getting guys open pre-snap. So he has a good look pre-snap, and he's got the answers basically before the snap, but he's becoming better at finding the second best answer or the third best answer. So those are the things he's done better. But as a team, it's just all the weapons around him. Now you've got a young back that can do a lot of things out of the backfield, in addition to the great two of the fastest guys in the NFL. It's just a lot of weaponry around him.
So a tweet was sent out moments ago that apparently the 6 fastest plays of the year in terms of players running with the football after being handed the ball off or catching it, all 6 plays are Dolphins.
I can believe it.
Mostert has a run. Tyreek Hill's on it 2 or 3 times, and A-Chain is on it 2 or 3 other times. But the 6 fastest guys running with the football this year are all Miami Dolphins. There's been speed in the game, Chris, for a long time. I mean, it was called the fastest show on turf for a reason. Holt and Bruce and Falk. Is this more speed on offense than any team has ever put in the NFL?
I'd have to think about ever, but I mean, certainly as I think about it, none comes to mind, because you just start with Hill and you guy you had mentioned, Waddle. Those 2 guys just running about as fast as anybody. And you throw in the other guys. There are other guys other teams where you can spread out and you have quickness, but they've got pure speed. And what that does is really paralyze opposing, safeties, because you've got to really protect deep. Well, that's just going to create all sorts of openings underneath. And to Mark's initial question, what's better? Well, the ball can come out quickly, and it's so much run after catch. So where do you want to get beat? Do you play deep enough to make sure that you don't get beat over the top? Or do you creep up enough to try to be able to tackle after the catch? Well, good luck, because neither one's very fun to do, and not many people are having success either way.
And this line for Miami's Tua's not getting touched, and they're opening up holes in the run game, which is going to make it even more difficult for defensive coordinators. I mean, this is a nightmare right now, Chris, because they're running the ball as effectively as they're throwing the ball.
Well, you got to play split safeties. I mean, you got to be really careful to protect deep, so you don't have numbers in the box to defend the run. So it's a little bit easier for the run game to develop. The offensive line doesn't have as many guys to block. Number one. Two, the ball comes out. It's quick drop, ball comes out. Well, you don't have to protect as long. So I agree with you. They're doing their job, but they are also, I must add, doing a great job of making it easier for the offensive line. So that is working in concert. Look, right now, the only thing I would say, because, everyone week to week we crown somebody as still, if you've got a great offense, and we saw that in week one, a team like the Chargers that moving up and down the field, you can still beat Miami's defense at times unless you get so far ahead and you become one-dimensional. That's the way. I mean, can you do that? Can their defense step up? Because there are going to be some games to where they're just not going to be as sharp. It's like the great shooting team in basketball. What if you have a bad shooting night? And I'm thinking in terms of playoffs, because I think this team's definitely a playoff team. We'll get a good, feel next week of, who's the best team in the AFC. The Dolphins are in the AFC East. Dolphins look like that right now. But I think that's going to be interesting to see is how well can they play defensively, not only through the rest of the year, but as we get into the playoffs, can they get stops? What can they do if all of a sudden they have a quarter that's just they have a couple of drops and things are not as sharp? That to me would be the only thing right now that could curtail them.
Chris Landry, Landry Football, LandryFootball.com. Dolphins, by the way, already a slight underdog at Buffalo this coming Sunday. Buffalo, a 2 to 3 point favorite in the early lines there. Listen, when you were a coach or also, in the front offices that you worked on and you were up in the booth, I mean, how egregious a mistake is it for a team and a staff with the game on the line by the goal line to have back-to-back plays defensively with only 10 guys on the field? I mean, we're making it out to be a staggeringly big deal. Is it?
Yeah. I mean, the communication of who's on the field and who's not on the field, I'm not saying it's easy. I mean, but it is part of organization. It's like anything. Every situation needs to be covered. And if you're not communicating it, or if there's somebody that's not aware, I mean, you've got to know that going in, and you've got to have that buttoned up. So, yeah, to have that like that, that's a pretty big deal. That is something you can correct. If a guy is not good enough to make a play that you call, that's not his fault. It's my fault as a coach. If you can't get on the field correctly and line up correctly and make adjustments because maybe you're not seeing things, that's another thing. But if you can't get the right amount of guys on the field, that is fundamentally a poor job and must be corrected immediately. And to have it happen, it's the thing that will make you lose sleep more than anything else as a coach, because that's avoidable.
Well,
you don't need to be talented to do that. You don't need to be talented to have 11 bleeping guys on the field.
Twice.
Not like it was a big play on the goal line or anything.
Right.
No. I mean, that's embarrassing when you're up 70-20. To do it at that time, I mean, just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Hey, look, the Jags weren't very good defensively last year, so giving up points isn't the biggest surprise with Jacksonville, but their offense has been lousy. They're not scoring. What's going on in Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence in that offense?
For some reason, and I don't know why it seems to happen a lot against the Texans, because it happened. I mean, drop balls. Trevor wasn't real sharp. They couldn't run the football. And you can run the football against this Texas defense. We saw the Colts do it. I can't explain why it's happening, but that's what's happening. Another sloppy point, shooting themselves in the foot. Look, you can be more talented. And I think the other thing I would say, I think this is normal, but they played well at the end of the year, and they won the playoff game and all that. Well, they're clearly the team to beat. Are they really? I mean, it doesn't matter how good you are if you don't play up to those capabilities, and they didn't, and they're not. And so, I think they'll get better, and I think they'll be fine. But you just can't be really good and show up. And I mean, you just can't. You certainly can't do it in this league. You can't do it in college ball. I just think they're still a young team that's immature, and maybe they're feeling themselves a little bit like they're really good. And we're that stuff is out the window, man. You got to show up. And the Texans just played a cleaner game, pure and simple.
What was the biggest difference for Alabama this past week that you saw?
They had a better game plan with we're going to have to run the football more and stay committed to it and work play action with the quarterback. They clearly know that they're going to be limited in the passing game. It's just what they are. But Ole Miss is not a very good defense, and you can run the football. They didn't run it all that well in the first half, but they stayed committed to it. And they wore Ole Miss out, and they were able to get some big plays as a result of it. And defensively, they took over the game. Whereas like last week, for whatever reason, sloppy, they kind of won that game with defense. So that's what they're going to have to do, and we'll see how far it takes them. I don't think it's going to take them where Alabama normally goes, but they'll still be good, and they'll still win, I don't know, 10 games or maybe 11. I don't know.
Ole Miss marched right down and scored. What did Alabama? I mean, that defense, I think, needs to be talked about a little bit, Chris, because that was a really impressive defensive performance.
One of the things they did, and of course, Lane Kiffin was more than willing to try to give his 2 cents in about, what he thought was going on with Alabama's defense. But a lot of the issues in the Texas game was communication of the call and how quickly it was getting in, and it wasn't that seamless administrative part wasn't working all that well. So they kind of changed how their signals and who was going to be in what role of doing that. And they got a little bit better. And I thought they made really good adjustments. Look, with Ole Miss, they want to run the football. And you got to get lined up quickly. We use the term, get your cleats in the ground, get ready to go and defend that run. And they just did a better job of it.
He's Chris Landry. He's sitting in the Landry Football Lab. You can follow him on Twitter/X at Landry Football. It's LandryFootball.com. Get all the videos and all the breakdowns that he produces at LandryFootball.com. Chris, we'll talk next week. Thanks so much for joining us. Miller and Moulton, we get ready for Monday Night Football in Tampa.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Yeah. Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here.
Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com. Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Just had to play the game. Good for Apple. They sent me an email that my athletic subscription's coming up in a month. They're gonna hit me for $72, so I just canceled it so I can get it for
$1.
right.
Good deal.
I will say the fantasy article that gave me Tank Dell as a sleeper for Houston came in mightily.
Yeah, that worked out well.
Ryan Clark is very, if you can throw a TV on, Ryan Clark has got a little Don Cherry going today.
Oh, really? His outfit?
It's like it's not a big, it's a smaller collar, but it's a different looking collar. Huge Windsor knot. And a funky suit.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Thanks so much for being with us. Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Monday Night Football doubleheader tonight. I'm in Tampa where the Bucs are playing host to the Eagles. Boy, what a difference a little over a year makes. And the 2021 season, the Bucs destroyed the Eagles in a playoff game. Be Brady's last playoff win, for that matter. Eagles were a 9-8-7 seed. They got destroyed. Things have changed a little bit in the year plus since then. Philly a 5-point favorite on the road tonight, looking to become the third 3-0 team, but the Bucs are looking to become the third 3-0 team. Mark, what would we do? The Dolphins and the Bucs both 3-0 heading into October. Wow.
David, I don't know. It's something we've never dealt with before on this show, and we've been doing it for nearly 20 years together.
I know. Now the Dolphins were 3-0 last year. Here's a fair question. Does this 3-0 feel different than last year's 3-0?
Yeah, yes. I think it feels a lot more different. The defense is playing better, and they're protecting Tua better than they ever have.
The offensive line and the ability to keep a clean pocket for Tua has been what's most impressive to me. But we're 3 games in. I'm not ready to start crowning anyone yet.
Okay. All right. Let me ask you this. Last weekend, we were saying in certain situations it could have been transition weekend, new sheriff in town weekend. Florida State, you can argue, has now said to Clemson, you had a nice 8-year run. We'll take it from here. Ole Miss had that opportunity to send a statement to Alabama. Bama said not so fast. Notre Dame had a chance to say we're a playoff team, not just a good program. Ohio State said not so fast. What if Miami goes into Buffalo and wins Sunday?
Oh,
it's early.
Then you put them at the top of all your power polls.
Oh, okay.
Then the Miami Dolphins are the team to beat, not just in the AFC East, but in the AFC and maybe in the whole damn league. And I'm serious when I say that.
Okay. That's what I'm wondering. Just how close are we? Are we looking at this Miami team? Let's face it. The power of the helmet can paralyze us. It was difficult for us to come around to saying good things about the Lions last year when they were winning 8 of their last 10. Why? Because they were the Lions. And, the Dolphins have not been good for 20 years, although they have had back-to-back winning seasons. But you know what I mean. Haven't won a playoff game since the Clinton administration. I mean, it's tough for us to, cannonball into the deep end about the Dolphins. And I'm just trying to figure out
the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen yesterday, though, David. That's all I'm saying is that they were living the song yesterday.
Should we cue it? We get in trouble with YouTube and other places, but I mean they did score 70. Do we want to at some point cue up the song? Wait to the bonus hour, maybe?
Maybe.
I don't know. Okay. But that's what I'm wondering, Mark. I'm wondering, it was set up when Florida State beat LSU, coming off the season they had last year when they won 10 games and they won their last 7, and they went into Death Valley Saturday. We're like, listen, this is a changing of the guard game. Dolphins have had back-to-back winning seasons. They're playing at a level we haven't seen in a while, but they were 3-0 last year. I'm just wondering, are we to the point, or no, do we have to sit this whole year out? No. They don't become the team to beat in the AFC East, even if they win Sunday. No. It's Buffalo until proven otherwise. And could they win a playoff game at least? They haven't won a playoff game in over 20 years, for goodness sakes. What are you guys saying? That's what I'm wondering. Is the line of demarcation Sunday at Orchard Park? Is it, no, we got to sit this whole thing out?
Well, there's part of me that thinks that we have to sit the whole thing out because I can start talking positively about the Dolphins in the playoffs if I know Tua is going to start their first playoff game. I mean, we've done this with a lot of teams in the past, David, and you're better at remembering who they are than I am. But I mean, your point about not winning a playoff game is everything. They have to go out and prove it in January. All of this stuff until then is nice.
It's really nice.
It is. It's like a new car.
Yes,
it goes really fast.
It smells good too.
It does. The problem is the speed limit on the regular season is just that. It's the regular season. And I want to see if you can open this thing up in the playoffs.
Oh, is that what it is? Because I was thinking it was complete opposite. I'm thinking yesterday that the Dolphins were the Lamborghini in Montana. There's no speed limit, baby. Okay, and the problem is the playoffs don't take place in Montana. They go, come here. No. See, we got 25 local, school zones, 35. If you behave yourself, maybe we'll give you a few minutes at 65. Okay, but for the most part, you got a 45. That's how we do the playoffs. You got to do it in the 45-mile-an-hour zone.
But they did score 70 without one of their best players even playing in the game.
How much grief is he going to get playfully about, dude, we don't need you. Hell, we scored 70 without you. Oh, my goodness. No, really, take another week off. We're fine.
Hey, did you know that Jalen Ramsey is on this football team?
Right. He hasn't played yet. I will say, it's 8 quarters in a series. But, they came up with the big stop, the final series of the Chargers game. And then since then, they were very solid. Got wilted a little late against New England. I think they got tired. And then, come on, they were solid yesterday. Okay. I mean, right now, if you go into the game and the Dolphins defense says, hey, we got this, we're only giving up 20 or 21. If we played the game the rest of the year, Mark, Dolphins defense gives up 21 points every game for 14 more games. How many of them do the Dolphins win?
All of them.
Well, I just, I'm thinking, is there one time where they get help?
Are you kidding me?
I'm saying 21. Okay, the Dolphins defense says we're good. We're 21. The Buck stops at 21. Okay, like this week, hey, the Bills got after, Howell in Washington. They got after it the week before too. The Bills pass rush has shown up even without
but
their best pass rusher.
Miami loses, they're going to lose the 35-31 game.
Okay.
Not the 21-20 game. Now, weather and elements could play a factor in that, but if you told me that Miami is going to hold their opponent to 21 the rest of the year, David, that's a 15-2 football team.
Well, hell, you said they were going to win them all. That's kind of what I'm getting at. I mean, here's what I'm wondering. When we had Gary Danielson on an hour and a half ago, and he said, listen, they're kind of outflanking teams. This speed motion with speed, the likes of which we haven't seen. He goes, defenses, they got nothing for this right now. Well, there was a time there where the greatest show on turf had something that, the 85 Bears defensively, it took a couple years for the league to figure it out. It took a year and a half to kind of figure the Rams out. The Bucs did a great job in that NFC Championship game. They also had 4 Hall of Famers on the field. I mean, that somehow doesn't get mentioned. They had 4 Hall of Famers on the field defensively. I'll match your Hall of Famer with one of mine. Thank you very much. But, that's what I'm wondering. Is this just one of those years, Mark, where, the Dolphins are just, the rest of the league's not going to figure it out? Not until the parade.
I think there are teams that can score with them. I do think we saw what the Chargers were able to do. They could match them offensively. The defense isn't all there yet. Can't take games against New England and Denver and crown the defense. Let's see what happens this week against Buffalo. Miller and Moulton, thanks for listening right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other. With a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. a team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
It's always been Ohio against the world, David.
I didn't realize that. Was that the Civil War? Did I miss that? I mean, Springsteen did write that Youngstown song. I just... I love fired up coaches. At least he was fired up about the right thing. You call a team soft, that's what you get fired up about. I'm just wondering. Listen, Dan Lanning called off the Dogs. I mean, it was 42-0 mid-third. He had Bo Nix out of there in the third quarter. He called off the Dogs against Colorado.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he could have challenged what the Dolphins did if he wanted to. I was just trying to figure out what Dan was going to say to Dion when they met at midfield. Good luck in the Big 12. I mean, how does that go exactly? Call me when you want to do a home and home.
Well, and without Hunter, they had nothing.
You didn't like the Youngstown song? I love the Youngstown song. I like the lyrics in the Youngstown song.
Is that a newer song, David?
No. Youngstown. That goes back a ways. Kind of like that stuff you sent me. Wow. That was something. That 72 Springsteen stuff you sent me?
Wasn't that cool?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I could hear another song in there because I don't know that song, but I could hear there's another, it's the same guitar as another song. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, he took that tune and used it for something else. I thought that was pretty cool. I just like the ovation. Here's Bruce Springsteen.
Tapped in for 7. Go get them. All right, I got some exclusive info. Monday Night Football stuff. Got some info.
Here we go.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
"22 minutes before the top of the hour, Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. The Diamond District bonus hour awaits at the top of the hour. I'm in Tampa, Monday Night Football, doubleheader tonight. Bucs-Eagles are the early game. Kickoff 7:15 on ABC. 8:15 ESPN, ESPN2. Rams-Bengals. I have no idea if Burrow's playing. I don't know if the Bengals know if Burrow's playing. Hell, the reports are he's starting or he's going on injured reserve for 4 weeks. So knock yourself out. I got $20 says he doesn't play. That's me. Gut feeling. No info. But he hasn't practiced. So, and I think they're fearful, Mark, that calf could turn into an Achilles. Remember Rodgers had the calf, and then, So I just think I don't know. I have a feeling they're going to play it safe. I have a feeling we're getting Jake Browning tonight in Cincy. So if you want to switch over, that's on you. All right. I'm going to give you some numbers. Are you ready?
Oh, boy. You look fired up.
Monday Night Football official research. Are you ready? So that Bush push play that the Eagles run. Do you know they've run that play 3 times more than any other team in the league? They've run it 30 times in the last 2 years. The Bills are second at 10. Of the 30 times they've run it, it's been either 3rd or 4th and 1. At most 2. Of the 30 times, how many times they get a first down or a touchdown?
29.
Man, you are hot. 28. 28. By the way, Mark Miller, 3rd straight winning week, ladies and gentlemen, this week.
David Moulton, 5-1-1.
No, just the out-of-body experience in September.
Huh?
Anyway. So, all right. So they're 28 for 30. They've run it at the 1-yard line 8 times. How many times have they been successful and scored a touchdown? 7. And on the one time they got stopped, it was 3rd down, so they ran it again. Now, listen, we can get into this play's been legal since 2005. We can get into whether or not it should be, the whole deal. Listen, the Eagles were one of 9 owners that voted against making it illegal for obvious reasons. So, listen, it's still in the league. They run it far more than anybody else. And basically, when they line up in it, it's going to be successful. Period. Now, I'll be curious with Vita Vea if maybe this team has a better chance than most. Because he is a mountain of a man.
It's still a man against four men sometimes.
Exactly. So here's some more Jalen Hurts info, if you will. Now, you tell me if you're the Bucs. If I presented you with this information, Todd Bowles, you tell me what you would do with it. Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback in the NFL from the pocket since the start of the 2022 season. Completion percentage, yards per attempt, yards per completion. Jalen Hurts is the number one quarterback in the league from the pocket.
Well, if you're Tampa, then you need to hope that Vita Vea not just is there for those push plays, David, but that he can push that pocket back and make it a little more uncomfortable for Hurts instead of just stepping up and throwing, having to move side to side.
However, even though Jalen Hurts has 28 rushing touchdowns, which is as many as any quarterback has ever had in their first 50 games. He's tied with Cam, and he's actually played 3 fewer games. So there's a good chance if Hurts scores a rushing touchdown tonight, he will have done something no other quarterback's ever done. But I digress. For as good as he is in the pocket, unlike Mahomes and Allen, whose numbers outside the pocket are very compelling, Jalen Hurts is one of the worst quarterbacks in the league outside the pocket. 73% from inside the pocket, 36% from outside the pocket. If I were to just present that, I'm the little geek, Mark, in the analytics department, and I came off the elevator, and I gave my report to you, Todd Bowles, and that's the info that you have in front of you. And you like to blitz. What are you going to do with Jalen Hurts? Maybe you got to get him out of the pocket.
You got to get him out of the pocket. So you want to blitz. You want Vita Vea, but you might want some blitzes up the middle. But then that opens up the running game for Hurts.
Well, maybe. And once again, you got to figure out, do you then blitz from one side to make him flush to the other side? Whatever. Hey, listen, I'm the geek. I presented you the info. That's my job. Hurt. Here you go, Todd. Here's the info. Now, they got maybe the best offensive line in the league. They got 2 terrific receivers and a top 5 tight end. So you can take my info and throw it out if you want. But I'm just saying, on paper, that's the info.
Because I think Philadelphia, even with that info, what they want to do this year is run the football. They want to dominate you at the line of scrimmage.
To further Mark Miller, who went from being Todd Bowles to Mark Miller, he may go back to Coach Bowles at any moment. To further your point, Coach Bowles, Mark Miller, all right, they run the ball the 3rd most times in the NFL since the start of last season. 45% of the time they run the ball. And it goes hand in hand. They play with the lead a lot. And so, we all know teams that run the ball, why it is they run the ball a lot. But just saying, they run the ball 3rd most times in the league. And then when their quarterback throws the ball from the pocket, he's been arguably the best quarterback in the league.
And what are they doing a lot when he's throwing from the pocket? Play action.
And when they do play action, they throw for more yards per attempt and completion than any other team in the league. So that's what you're up against, Coach Bowles, and your defense tonight. They're top 3 in running. And then when they go to play action off of the run, they're arguably the best. Good luck, Coach. Listen, it's my job just to give you the info. Here you go.
Now I'm leaving the room after I gave you said info.
I am. Don't ask me for a solution, Coach. I just crunch the numbers. So there you have it. You know, one of the 2 games they lost last year, he didn't start. So they have he's lost 2 games, Mark, since the beginning of last season. One was the Super Bowl on basically the last play of the game. And the other, they lost. There was a fluky defensive score in the final seconds, but they basically lost a 1-score game to Washington.
So let's see. Home dogs this week. The Vikings ended up being a slight home dog. The Commanders were a home dog. The Jets were a home dog.
Right.
Arizona was a home dog.
Well, there you go. 1-3.
Think that's it. I think that's it. So it was not a good week for home dogs. And the Bucs are a home dog.
Now, we had 9 2-0 teams. The Niners won on Thursday to get to 3-0. So entering play yesterday, we had 8 2-0 teams, but 6 were in action yesterday because we got the 2 2-0 teams playing each other in Tampa. Of the 6 2-0 teams, Mark, how many of them won?
That'd be one.
That'd be the Dolphins.
The greatest football team
that the world has ever seen.
They take the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen.
In the air and on the ground, they're always in control. Say it.
And when you say Miami,
you're talking Super Bowl. Yeah!
At least here in early September.
That's right. September's the Dolphins month, baby. Always has been. So there's some of the numbers. That's what the Bucs challenge is. Even though, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, they haven't quite looked as good as they did last year. It's early. Their head coach a bit of a maniac in a good way. It's just but top 3 offensive line, top 3 wide receiving core, top 5 tight end, top 3 quarterback when he's in the pocket, bottom 3 quarterback when he's out of the pocket. Good luck. Yep. Good luck. So that's what's going up against Todd and the defense tonight. Can they? Because, what's been the key so far? They've been closer in the lead, so they've been patient offensively. And Baker hasn't made a mistake at all. He's been terrific, actually, on third down. You could argue he's been the best quarterback in the league so far on third down. He's 20 for 23 on third down. But can they against the Eagles, Mark? Can they hang in there? Can they make it a rock fight? Can they slow them down so that they can keep doing the same things offensively? Eagles were missing one of their top 2 corners last week. Is he going to be back this week? 2 excellent corners against 2 terrific receivers. Isn't that kind of the game within the game? Don't the Bucs have to win that matchup? Slay and Bradbury against Evans and Godwin. If that's a push, the Eagles win.
I don't see the Bucs running the ball all that effectively. They just don't. That's the other thing we haven't really talked about is the 47 different defensive linemen that the Philadelphia Eagles have. They seem to just come with 2 teams of defensive linemen where everybody else has 1.
And half of them are from Georgia. But that's a whole other point. I have a feeling, think of who we have in the middle tonight. We're going to have Vita Vea on one side and we get Jalen Carter on the other. Man, there's some big men.
Big men moving quickly, hitting things hard.
Moving the pile backwards. Yes. So, the offensive line for Tampa's held up. The running game's been just enough so that Baker and company could get it done throwing the ball. But they have played also 2 teams who combined are 0-6. Playing the Eagles.
But they played the Bucs.
Right. So they're only 0-4 when they don't play the Bucs. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So, That's what we have tonight. Eagles by 5. What's the over-under, by the way? It's like 45. So Vegas has got this game 25-20 Philadelphia. I'll tell you what, I'd love for the Bucs to score 20, in all seriousness. Now, I wouldn't take it if, if you give you 20, would you take it? No, but I'd actually, wow, okay. You mean we're getting to 20 tonight? Okay, we need to have a chance.
I hate to say it, but I'd take the Eagles and lay the points, David. Both sides of the ball, they're just superior.
I'm worried that, the Bucs have played from just in the lead the first 2 games. I'm worried that they're going to be playing just from behind tonight. Even if it's a score, can they stay patient? Will Baker not force anything? Trailing by 6 instead of leading by 6.
And in the other game, do you just take a hunch on the Rams? The Bengals are favored by 2. Don't you just take the Rams in that game and say, I don't think Burrow's playing?
Yes. Yeah, totally. And not only that, the Rams have played well twice, and the Bengals have not played well twice. It's a big night in Cincinnati, the Rings of Honor and all that. And it's a big deal. Plus, it's a rematch from the Super Bowl a couple years ago. They're making a big deal of it. But, if Jake Browning's at quarterback, it kind of does lose a little luster.
But they can't go 0-3.
No, that would be a problem. I mean, they got a huge break, though. Think if they can get a win tonight. With Indy beating Baltimore, oh, my goodness, if they could get a win tonight. But the whole rest of the division's 2-1. Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Baltimore. I mean, they have to win tonight. It's over if they lose.
And they don't know who's playing quarterback. And if they do, they certainly aren't telling us.
So that's the 8:15 game. Bucs, Eagles, 7:15. So there's the info. You all do with it what you will. That's the game within the game tonight.
Bucs and Eagles. Bucs trying to keep on keeping on, but I think they're up against too much tonight against the Eagles. The Diamond District Bonus Hour is next. Thanks so much for listening to Miller and Moulton right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here.
Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
That was some good info, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Disney paid a lot of money for that info. Figure we'd use it. So did you see they're talking about Mike Williams of the Chargers might be out for the year?
Mm-hmm. What's the over-under in the Michigan State-Iowa game, and don't you have to take the under?
That game's going to be on NBC at 7:30. And then NBC the next night has the Chiefs at the Jets. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. They're only paying about $2.5 billion a year to get these matchups. The over on. Don't you think it's got to be like 38?
They don't have it out yet. I was just not on where I'm looking.
So it's really tough when you're doing a game the likes of which we were doing. 36.5 is what I have. Iowa by 11.5, 36.5.
36.5.
It's unreal. So I look over at our graphics, not graphics, our stats monitor, and it's like late third quarter, and it said Iowa first downs 2. And I thought, man, they haven't had a first down in a while. So I start going back through the play-by-play and realized that their last first down was 4 minutes into the game. So, we start getting into the fourth quarter. And I got it down on a card. I'm like, they're 2 first downs. The last one was 4 minutes into the game. First play of their second drive of the game. That's a long time. They ran 19 plays for 7 yards.
I will say, I know they blew the 10 men, but I thought it was the NBC game in which when they did the time of possession graphic, they went plays, time of possession, yards, or they had 3 things on it. Very simple graphic, but it had plays. And I think that's really important when you're putting that graphic up.
Well, we were emphasizing it, not that anybody was watching, but we were emphasizing it because at one point the plays were like 78-28.
Yeah, I didn't even put your game on the second television.
So
I was watching UCF.
Oh, okay.
Here we go.
listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Miller and Moulton, the Diamond District bonus hour here on the Florida Sports Network. Todd and Jason, longtime sponsors of the show, always want to thank them for the solid work they do. And if you're looking for a diamond, then you want to check out the Diamond District at Coconut Point. Tell them Miller and Moulton sent you. Great deals all the time. The place to buy jewelry in Southwest Florida, the Diamond District. Todd and Jason, always there. At least one of them is always there, and they're fired up. Especially Jason. He's a Finns fan. I'm surprised I didn't even get a text yesterday during the game. I thought I might get one during the game when they got to 70.
This is the time to be a Dolphins fan. I mean, if you walk around in public I walked around in public yesterday wearing Dolphins gear, and I had like 7 people walk up to me and high-five me. It's beautiful.
I had just the opposite of that. I went to do 2 things over the weekend where I left the house, and I wasn't expecting to leave the house. I had the soccer game on Friday night. I was pretty much in, and I get up and I've got, my piles of clothes, and I put on a Michigan State shirt Saturday. I had no hope of Michigan State winning, but I put it on and I went to the store, and I had to go pick up like 2 things at the grocery store. And I'm in the grocery store and I'm going to walk in, and you're kind of walking in simultaneously with another guy. And he looked at me and he went, "Go ahead. Your year's going to be a lot rougher than mine."
Oh. No remorse.
No, and I said, "You're right." I said, "So's next year." I mean, what do you? Because he said it, and I looked down, I'm like, "Oh crap, I got a Spartan shirt on." That yes, it is going to be bad. Then I walked into the grocery store, and a guy looked at me and he goes, "So who's your coach going to be?" Unsolicited. I said, "I have no idea, neither do they." And then he just followed up with, he goes, "Don't worry, I'm a Jets fan. We suck too."
I was going to say, you know what? Would you rather have Zach Wilson or the saga of Michigan State right now? Whew, man.
Punt. I'd rather punt. But we had a little technical issue there. Felipe said wearing his Dolphin stuff, people just walking up to him and randomly high-fiving him.
No, I know. I heard that. I think it's awesome. We've waited. Forget what Dolphin fan has waited. Miller and Moulton going to be selfish here. All right. Miller and Moulton have waited our whole careers together for this. I so want them to keep on keeping on. I so want them to keep on keeping on. And not because, we were Tua supporters and a lot of people weren't. No, it would be amazing to have the Miami Dolphins have a great season.
And Felipe, we'd like you to see it because your lifetime has been with the Heat being the premier Miami franchise. And they are. You've never witnessed Miami Dolphin fandom at the level that it could be a couple of months from now.
Right. I've never experienced a city galvanized by their NFL team.
The other thing, and this is more of a Moulton thing than even a Miller and Moulton thing, but the Dolphins are winning games the way Dolph fans actually want them to win games. Even though they won their titles with the no-name defense and running the ball, that's how you played football 50 years ago. But there's multiple eras. They grew up on Marino. They loved it. They loved him. They loved Duper, Clayton. They loved that style of play. They were fun. They couldn't get to the last game of the year, but they were fun. They were excited about the product.
And you knew with those teams that you had a shot to get to the last game of the year.
Yes.
You felt as if you were good enough to play in the last game of the year, even though they only got there for the one time. But you're right, David. It's the same thing that we've talked about with the Gator fan.
Right.
They won a certain way.
Yes. And that's why they don't like this Napier style of play. They don't. It's boring for them. Okay. They're thrilled he beat Tennessee, but he got booed the other night with 3 minutes to go. They're up 19-7. They clearly mailed one in against Charlotte. They're 19-7. They're inside the 5. They got 4th and 1. Napier's looking at the scoreboard saying, "I'm going to play coach. I'm going to kick a field goal here, put us up 15. Okay. In case crazy stuff happens, I want to make sure we don't lose with 2 touchdowns. Okay. So he kicked the field goal and 90,000 people booed him. They want a certain style. They want the fun and gun. That's what they want. And even though Urban's offense wasn't the fun and gun, it put up points like the fun and gun. So they were fine with it. Okay. The Dolphins, Mark, are playing Dan Marino football.
Right. Maybe, dare I say it, even a little faster.
Yes.
I don't know. We'll see if it's better when it's all said and done.
Right.
But it certainly looks as if someone hit the fast forward button on the Dolphins Marino days, because this is going at a rate of speed of which Dolphins never seen before.
Even the Dolphins of the late 90s, Jimmy Johnson was based on defense. Wanstead wanted to play defense and run the football with a serviceable Jay Fiedler at quarterback. Even the Tony Sperano year with Chad Pennington. They ran the Wildcat. That was different, but that wasn't a fun team. That was a team that won a bunch of 23-20 games. This is very Miami. This is the Heat with Shaq and D Wade. This is LeBron and D Wade up and down the floor. This is fun. This is what we do in Miami. Mark, we're hockey guys. What have the Florida Panthers been for the last few years? They added grit to it this year, but what has that product been?
It was wide open.
Fun.
Scoring goals.
And they're dominating games. That's one thing I don't think I've ever seen Dolphins do,
No.
even last year, because that's the thing. The defense was not that great last year. They had a -2 point differential for the whole season.
I want everyone to pump the brakes on the defense. Slow down.
It's much
the 2
improved.
defensive games that you're talking about. Well, I don't know if it is. I really don't know. We'll find out Sunday. Was it improved against the Chargers? Because it wasn't to me. The Chargers did whatever they wanted offensively in that game.
Also, Felipe, you have just played the Patriots and the Broncos. We're talking about 2 middle of the road at best, if not bottom third offenses. Okay. And you're playing with the lead also. That's the other thing this defense has had the luxury of the last 8 quarters. They've played with the lead. You can play one-dimensional football defensively when you're playing with the lead. Let's see. Let's see if it's 24-24 late third quarter with the Bills. Let's see. I'll say this though, Felipe, when they get Jalen Ramsey back, if X can stay healthy and Ramsey's healthy, that's what the Eagles got going on tonight with Slay and Bradbury. You put 2, dare I say, shut down corners, but at least number 1 corners on the field at all times, you can be pretty damn good on that side of the ball.
I would even say they really need Ramsey right now because X has not been great to start the season.
Well,
and I think most Dolphins fans could agree.
Well, it's funny. There are certain players when they get injuries and they never fully come back. This is an old reference, but John McEnroe was on top of the tennis world in 1984. He literally lost 3 matches all year. Late in the year, getting ready for the Davis Cup, he hurt his groin. Those close to McEnroe said he was never had the same speed and agility rushing the net and since. He was never the same player. Xavier Howard does not look like the same guy he was 2 years ago, and he tried to play through that injury last year, and I don't know if physically he'll ever be the guy he was in 2020, 2021, but he's at least a really good number 2 corner.
Well, there you go. He's being forced to be the number 1 guy. Ramsey comes back. He's no longer taking on the number 1 receiver. Changes the way you play defense.
As Guillermo points out in our Twitch chat room, middle of the road, David, you're being kind. They're bottom 5 offenses. I don't know if at the end of the year they'll end up being that way, but yeah, they're bottom third.
Bottom third.
Yeah,
for sure.
They definitely are. They definitely are. But hey, that's the advantage that Greatest Show on Turf Rams defense had. We joked about it at the time. It seemed like every time that year, remember, late first quarter, you'd look at the score at the bottom, it'd be 14-3 Rams. They'd score the first time they got it. The other team would come down, kick a field goal. Rams would get it back and score. It just seemed like when the defense went on the field for the Rams the second time in the game, they were already up 11. I mean, that could be what the Dolphins defense enjoys a lot of this year. They may just be playing with a double-digit lead the whole damn year.
And teams will look and see what New England did in that game and try to emulate what the Patriots did to keep the Dolphins slowed down a bit. They're going to play teams that can run the football. But you said earlier, David, if the Dolphins can hold the opponents to 20, 21 a game,
oh, forget it.
It's over.
And obviously the burden will be on them, just like it's on Lamar and the Ravens. You know, the Ravens could have a 14-3 regular season, and people will go, well, we've seen this before, guys. And we even gave Lamar the MVP. And you went one and done in the playoffs. You know, I mean, burden's on you. And the burden will be on Tua and McDaniel and the Dolphins, even if they are phenomenal here for the next 3 months. But you got to admit, when's the last time you watched the Miami Dolphins and thought to yourself, is this a great team? Seriously, when's the last time, Mark? You've been in Florida since 1998. I've been in Florida since 99. Felipe is 23 years old. At any point in time, have any of the three of us, for one day, put great team Dolphins in the same sentence?
Not unless it was for one game. They played great today. They were great on defense. But right now, that's a great offense. It's not a good offense. It's a great offense. The offensive line looks to be much improved. I'll reserve judgment on the defense. But the defense, if it can be pretty good, David.
Oh, they should go to the AFC Championship game.
There you go.
They really should. It's not going to be easy. We all know AFC's loaded. Hell, winning the East is going to be hard. They were an underdog Sunday. For as much as we're talking them up, they were an underdog going to Buffalo. Wouldn't that be like Florida State going to Clemson, though? If the Dolphins win at Orchard Park Sunday?
You mean taking back the AFC East?
Yeah, or at least saying it goes through us this year. Wouldn't it? Bills would be 2-2 with 2 division losses. Isn't that kind of like Clemson with 2-2 and 2 ACC losses?
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Myers.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Yep.
I saw a TikTok of Lee that came out right at the start of the Pitt, North Carolina game that he was all over Pitt plus 7.5. Whoopsie. He's 0 for 4 in his games of the week.
I know. He's never done anything close to that before.
No, he's been like 80%, 70% on these. These have been really good. Like, there's part of me that says, is it a bad year, or do you just start playing a hundo every week on his game of the week?
Did you see Bud Elliott's tweet at the end of the Penn State-Iowa game? Which Iowa first down did you enjoy the most? First, second.
Great poll question.
That's so apparently the Steelers have yet to get back to Pittsburgh.
They're in Kansas City.
Yeah,
Saw
got
that.
diverted.
At what point does Delta or whomever just send another damn plane?
$10 seconds.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. It is the Diamond District bonus hour. So let me get this straight. So between Jason and Todd, the one guy's a big Dolph fan, correct?
Yes.
And the other guy's a big Ohio State fan, correct?
Bingo. You got that right.
Are they giving this stuff away this week? I mean, honestly, I know they don't necessarily negotiate because their prices are already so damn low, but this would be the week. Come on.
I'd haggle. If I were a customer this week, I'd be haggling with them.
Totally.
They'd say, whatever, $2,800. Do better.
What do I look like? I'm playing with 10 men on the goal line? Come on now. $2,550. What do I look like? The Broncos defense? Come on.
You're not running over me like that.
This is the week, man. Go make it happen. Just saying, take advantage of them. They're weak this week. They're so damn giddy. This also, if you're a worker, if you work at the Diamond District, this is the week. This is the time to negotiate. This week, I don't know. You want an extra week's vacation. You want that. Long weekend to go away with your husband or something. Whatever. This is the week to do it.
Right. Got to get to a meeting for the kid in school. Got to leave early one day. Today's the day to ask.
Hey guys, would you work late for me this week? Yeah, sure. What do you need? So anyway, Todd and Jason, we're urging you to go take advantage of their giddiness at the Diamond District this week.
Now would be the time.
Yep. I mean, forget the whole, good product, good service, great prices, whatever. Just take advantage of their favorite teams that are kicking butt, taking names. So listen, fantasy owners, apparently Mike Williams of the Chargers, knee injury out for the year. That's a problem.
That is a problem.
We don't know if Burrow's playing tonight.
Also a problem, David.
And the Steelers have yet to get back to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they're in Kansas City right now.
And they're not playing the Chiefs Sunday.
Right, and it isn't because Taylor Swift was there. It had nothing to do with that.
No. I mean, who knows? They could be a bunch of Swifties.
She apparently had a chicken nugget or a chicken strip. That's all I know. But she posted something about eating a piece of chicken.
Okay. I will say the Len Dawson Media Center, I believe it is along Sweet Row there at Kansas City. It's really nice. The food is very good. I can attest to that. I mean, now it doesn't take much to get me to eat it, granted, but it is very good.
Is Travis Kelce's game better than anybody else's game on the planet right now? No, and I'm serious here. I mean, to get her to come to a game, it's the dating just in of itself to hang out with her. That is miraculous. This is one of the biggest stars on planet Earth.
Correct.
To hang out with her, you've got incredible game.
Mm-hmm.
To get her to sit with mom in a suite for one of your games?
Now, I will say this, he's a personality. She can do research on him. There's a lot out there on YouTube and what have you. She can listen to podcasts. She can watch videos. She can come to the conclusion before she ever has her first conversation with him. Wow, he seems fun. She can decide whether or not she finds him attractive or not. Okay. And good. Hey, mom's got stuff out there. She was mom of the two guys going against each other in the Super Bowl. There's plenty of stuff out there. Even, I mean, she could have a pretty good idea as to kind of like, I mean, she has spent days with fans. She has shown up and spent time with some of her Swifties and spent a day with them. I mean, what do you do if you're Taylor Swift? It's not like you can. I know Messi got away one time. He got to go to Publix one time. Now he can't. Where do you go if you're Taylor Swift?
But outside of Kansas City, I think Travis Kelce can go here and there. Yeah, he's going to get an autograph seeker. He's going to get a picture taker. But he still, before yesterday, could go out with maybe even the slightest degree of normalcy.
I agree.
That's over now.
Yes.
That's done.
Yep.
That's why I think that this is a horrible idea.
Why?
I mean, listen, the fame, reap the benefits of the fame and all the attention it brings to you. But that right there is exactly what I'm talking about.
Why?
The microscope pinned to his head is now wider than it's ever been. Ever.
Please.
That's the difference. Quite frankly, that's the difference between where you sit and where he sits, because he doesn't look at it that way.
No, because he loves it all.
Well, but also, quite frankly, he's a high level athlete. They don't think about failure. Okay. And like he tried to give her a gift when she came to Kansas City for a concert and she blew him off. He joked about it. Was that it, by the way? Did he go 0 for 1 and, grounded out the short and is like, I'm not going to pinch it again? No, he got back in there. He went on a podcast. He goes, no, I'm still trying to meet her. She's Taylor Swift. She's awesome. Of course I want to meet her. By the way, if you're Taylor Swift, this goes back to high school. Okay. Some women are shy. They don't want necessarily the attention. Other women love the fact you're fawning all over them. Do you think Taylor Swift, it may even be attractive to her that Travis Kelce's going on podcasts going, I'm desperately trying to get her to call me. Called her people and what have you. I can't get nothing. She may like that.
Look, hats off to Kelce for his level of confidence. That's what you want in a guy and, frankly, a tight end. But I'm just saying you need to know what you're getting into with this. This is an atom bomb of attention right here.
How did it work out for Tom Brady?
No woman that Tom Brady has ever been with has been on the stratosphere of Taylor Swift. No woman.
Giselle.
No.
Okay.
Most
famous model on the planet? She's on the same.
Most famous female on the planet. I'll do you one more. Female. Name a more famous female in the United States, not planet Earth. In the United States.
Beyonce.
Right, because she has the world.
Hey, you make your case before the jury, I'll make mine.
But she's on that level, is my point.
Okay, and listen, you can be right, Philly. Okay, I'm just telling you, there's nothing wrong with. I think we don't agree with the way you're looking at it. We don't think it's a bad thing, okay, that any man, okay, wants to have a date with an attractive superstar female performer. Okay, the downside doesn't equate to the upside. And she spent the day with mom?
I'd be more worried about that than anything else. Now that's a whole separate thing. Having and I wouldn't even say girlfriend, having the girl that you've been on a couple of dates with meet mom at this point in the relationship is scary.
But that just goes to show you the power that she has.
No,
that's where things can go wrong.
Maybe it goes to show you how cool she is. She's a superstar. And think about what he pitched her. Hey, come to Kansas City, take in a game. Well, who am I going to sit with? Well, my mom and my family and friends are going to be there. And she goes, yeah, okay. I don't know. Her cool factor may have just gone up 1,000.
And she did let an LFG go after Kelce scored.
Yes, she did.
With mom right there.
I thought Aaron Andrews' postgame question to Mahomes was spectacular. How much pressure did you feel in Swifties Nation to get Travis a touchdown today? He goes, I felt the pressure. And then he goes and runs.
Comments that were going on Twitter of what Swifties were saying about football. So wait, you get 4 downs. Does that mean you have to go? I mean, just the comments coming out of the Swifties were phenomenal. I would have watched that broadcast. It would have been a hell of a lot better than watching the actual broadcast of Chiefs and Bears. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than the salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Yeah. Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
From late kick Josh here, you might have already known these, but Iowa ran 2 more plays than Penn State had points. 33-31. But the more impressive one is that Penn State ran 21 more plays than Iowa had total yards.
21 more plays.
They ran 97 plays. Iowa had 76 yards.
Tua had more touchdowns than incompletions yesterday. And Mike White looked good.
Well, that's good because, quite frankly, Felipe, he didn't in the preseason. There
Yeah.
was talk when he suffered the concussion late in the preseason, do they make Skylar Thompson the number 2? So
That deep ball was pretty. To Robbie Chosen. Here's a poll question. What contract is worse, Deshaun Watson or Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson.
They're going to pay him $290.
Deshaun Watson didn't look bad yesterday.
No, it was probably his best game as a Brown. But the Broncos are about to pay Russell Wilson.
They're going to have to run the offense through Deshaun, and that'll suit him better.
Here we go.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes till the top of the hour. 15 until we're out of here. We are Miller and Moulton. This is the Florida Sports Network. During the Diamond District bonus hour, good, bad, and ugly, what's on tap today was the day when, all coming up. And then what to look forward to tonight with a prediction or two on Monday Night Football. And hey, don't laugh. Miller and Moulton are hot against the number and otherwise. By the way, you won straight up. There were 3 games we differed on. I don't know what our final tally was, but you got 2 of the 3 right. You had the Browns and you had the Packers. I took the Steelers. Those are the 3 games we differed on. So I think you're 3-0.
I am.
Head to head. Do you think you're beating me by a game every week?
And that usually doesn't happen. Usually Pick'em Sunday has been a Moulton staple of being very, very good.
I'm telling you, Mark Miller is on fire. This whole Florida thing. I'm telling you, you must be a Floridian now. Because if you're from Florida, you're kicking butt this year. Anything having to do with sports.
Been here a lot longer than I've been anywhere else, David.
There you go. You got your papers this year.
Can I just give you, before we get to this stuff, a couple of stats here? I said them to you during the break, but I think they need to be repeated. You know, Gary Danielson was on the show earlier. You miss any of the show, go to any of the usual spots, including Florida Sports Network, to download the podcast. But you guys did the Iowa-Penn State game.
Right.
Iowa ran 2 more plays than Penn State had points. 33-31.
Right. Yep.
Penn State ran 97 plays. They ran 21 more plays than Iowa had total yards.
What are you trying to say, Mark?
21 more plays than a team had total yards for a game.
Mark, there was a 7-drive sequence for Iowa where they had 6 3-and-outs and a first play turnover, where they ran 19 plays for 7 total yards. That was over a span of about 2 hours.
I have the YouTube TV, so I had Penn State on TVB with a bunch of games. I quickly just got rid of it and went UCF K-State on one TV and Notre Dame, Ohio State on the other. I felt badly for you having to be at that game.
Why?
It looked great. It must have been an easy night for you. It did look, the whiteout looks spectacular.
And I will say that the music during the commercial breaks, they play younger music. The students sing. It's a very fun atmosphere. Apparently, second biggest crowd ever at Beaver Stadium history. And it was 53 degrees and rainy and windy. And we're 4 stories up in the booth, and the booth is wide open. So it was fun.
Were you cold?
No, I'm fat. I'm fine. I didn't even have a jacket on. I had a long sleeve, thicker top. But there are a lot of people who were free. Put it this way. There's a guy, Joe, our longtime audio guy. He is a Penn Stater. He is, for 20 years, we've been in the SEC. He's like, I can't wait till we do Penn State football. Can we do a Penn State game? So we finally do a Penn State game. Halftime, he comes over. He goes, God, can't wait to go to Auburn next week.
Wait until November comes around. You start doing these.
Well, I said to him, I go, guys, next year, this is fourth weekend of September. I go, we're going to be having mid-November games here. Oh, I don't know. Plus, also, Mark, you got to remember that crew does a PGA Tour. Our college football crew does golf. Right. They're soft. Bunch of Northeasterners who are now soft.
Yeah. Holtz can talk about them. Just don't talk about Ohio State, whatever you do.
It's time for someone to take back this segment, if for no other reason than to stop David from talking about Meghan and Harry. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
1780, Benedict Arnold defects to the British. No good son of a. 1789, the U.S. Congress proposes the Bill of Rights.
Sends them to the states for ratification. You know, basic rights, freedom of speech, press, assembly, religion, the right to bear arms, proper legal procedure. No big deal or anything.
Today in 1804, the 12th Amendment was ratified, establishing the procedure for electing the president and the vice president. 1875, Billy the Kid escapes jail in Silver City, New Mexico. 1890, the Sequoia National Park is established by President Benjamin Harrison, California's first national park and the country's second. Today in 1926, Henry Ford announces the 8-hour, 5-day work week for workers at the Ford Motor Company.
When was that?
26.
And we got to change it. It's been 97 years. It's time for a change.
Time for the 410s.
Totally.
Then we'll listen to the Four Tops. Call it a day. Jimmy Fox hits his 58th in the last game of the season today in 1932. Today in 1955, Al Kaline at the age of 20 becomes the youngest batting champ for the Tigers.
Think about that. 20. You win a batting title.
Not even supposed to be in the league at 20.
No.
Sonny Liston KOs Floyd Patterson in the first round to win the world heavyweight boxing title at Comiskey Park today in 1962. Pink Floyd's concept album, Wish You Were Here, reaches number 1 in the U.S. It would stay on the charts for what seems like about 15 years. Today in 1975. Today in 76, this guy named Bono and Adam Clayton and a couple other guys respond to an advertisement posted by Larry Mullen Jr. They'd form this rock band. It would become U2. Sandra Day O'Connor is sworn in as the first female U.S. Supreme Court Justice today in 1981. And today in 2018, Bill Cosby was sentenced to 3 to 10 years. The first celebrity jailed in the Me Too era. William Faulkner, Phil Rizzuto, Barbara Walters, and Christopher Reeve all born today. Michael Douglas is 79. Cheryl Teagues is 76. Mark Hamill and Bob McAdoo are each 72. Scottie Pippen's 58. Will Smith is 55. Catherine Zeta-Jones, 54. John Lynch is 52. Chauncey Billups, 47. And rapper T.I. is 43. What did I miss, David?
The Partridge Family premiered today in 1970 on ABC at 8:30 because at 8 o'clock was the Brady Bunch. How about that power hour of television programming?
Oh, and you watched. You watched.
I think I love you.
You've heard folks elsewhere mock Florida is gonna Florida. Well, Mark Miller sees it differently. He calls it the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
Go to Bonita Springs, where 8-year-old Cameron Middleton came in first place at the drive, chip, and putt regional qualifier that will earn him a trip to Augusta National for the national finals.
Awesome.
Absolutely. He's a trick shot king. He's got a huge Instagram following, but he can play a little golf as well. Cameron Loves Golf is the Instagram page. I think he's got like 50. He's got tons of followers. Does trick shots on there.
How
and now
old
he's
is he?
going to Augusta. He's 8.
How can you be a king at 8? I mean, what is this, British royalty?
Very good, David.
If so, Mark, you know I'm a big fan. Cameron, you need some support. I'm your guy.
For the bad, we go to Fort Myers Beach, where chickens have been roaming around the neighborhood for a week, and 2 men got into a fight over the chickens. They started yelling at each other over what to do with the chickens, and then Robert Barraza, 65, and Dashiell Gonzalez, 43, went after one another because of chickens.
You think the chickens just stood by and watched them fight?
By the time authorities were called, Domestic Animal Services took 3 chickens away, David. 3 others still remain. Finally, the ugly. We go to Punta Gorda, where a man was arrested after trying to steal items off of somebody's boat and then dropping a deuce on the dock.
Oh.
Michael Wiersbicki, as best I can say, was seen on surveillance cameras on the boat at around 5 in the morning. He didn't take anything, but he did leave a deuce behind and caught on surveillance doing both. That is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, September the 25th, 2023.
You know, there's actually preseason hockey being played. It's depressing. I know it's too soon. But the Panthers, they should have about 317 people in the house for Nashville tonight. So we have 4 baseball games, none of them involving the Rays or the Marlins or the teams that they are chasing, for that matter. The most interesting matchup, Houston's at Seattle. Seattle right now is out of the playoffs. They're home for the final week of the season. They host Houston for 3 and Texas for 4. If they miss the playoffs, they have no excuses. None. Houston, by the way, loses just about all the tiebreakers. And they're tied in the loss column with Seattle. They're a half a game ahead of them because they've played one more game and won it. But the Houston Astros, the defending World Series champions, are very much in jeopardy of missing the playoffs, especially if Seattle takes 2 of 3 from them, Mark. Just saying. Because Houston's final series of the year is against Arizona. And Arizona needs to win to ensure their playoff spot. Monday Night Football, 7:15. Bucks getting 5 at home against the Eagles. The over-under is 45.5. So Vegas sees this game as 25-20, 26-20, something like that. Philly. I like the Eagles tonight. I do. I think that the lack of an effective running game for Tampa Bay will be their demise tonight. I think it'll put a little bit too much pressure on Baker. I do think Tampa early will slow down Philly. I do think this will be a bit of a rock fight. I just think Philly will pull away in the final 20 minutes of the game.
For a while, it may be, David. I think the defensive front, we make so much of the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line, and rightly so. It's maybe the best in all of football. That defensive line is nothing to sleep on. They have multiple players. They come at it with 6-8 guys, and I think they're just going to continually, as you mentioned, Tampa's not going to be able to run. They're going to be able to get after the quarterback with 4, and that's what will spell doom for Tampa Bay. I like the Eagles laying the points tonight as well.
And I think you and I are both taking a flyer on the Rams because I think we're both taking a flyer on Burrow not playing.
I can't. I want to. But
okay,
if my Bengals are going to do anything this year, David, they have to win tonight.
It would be fitting that you chose Joe Burrow and the Bengals because he didn't go to a Taylor Swift concert. What if the Kansas City Chiefs end up repeating as Super Bowl champions? Why? Well, hell, because their star tight end might be sleeping with her.
The power of the Swifties. I had no idea. I'm going to go after the show and download the whole catalog of her music and start listening to it on repeat, David, until I know all the songs by heart.
The Swifties and the Beehive, Mark. You don't mess with either.
Miller and Moulton, no truer words have ever been spoken. Pat Kerwin on the show tomorrow. Thanks for listening.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to make sure you're shopping with the best. And the best when it comes to GIA certified diamonds and diamond jewelry is not online. It's not in the malls. And it's not with any of the new pop-up jewelry stores trying to make a go of it here in Southwest Florida. The best place to buy diamonds is with my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District, who have made Southwest Florida their home for over 20 years now. The largest selection of GIA certified diamonds is with the Diamond District.